two teams vying to be this season's champions as the Coventry Bees take on the Poole Pirates. Both teams have tasted Elite League glory and know what it takes to become champions. Currently second and third in the league, they're both headed for another playoff berth. Tonight, it's a simple case of who dares wins.
Astonishing.
And dare I say it, welcome to a beautiful evening in the Midlands. As tonight we bring you live Speedway from Brandon Stadium, the home of the Coventry Bees. As tonight they take on their arch rivals, the Poole Pirates, live on Sky Sports. Hello, welcome to you. With me once again, Kelvin Tatum. And it is finally a beautiful evening, Kelvin. We haven't had many in the last few, and it seems a long time. The Elite League now just about to get back into gear again after a big World Cup and, of course, Grand Prix as well.
Exactly, and this weather is long overdue. There's been terrible disruption to the fixtures this season. And, you know, it's just smashing to be out with the sun's out, and I'm sure all the riders are looking forward to it this evening when they've got a proper evening's racing ahead of them.
As I said, the playoffs ever closer. Let's take a look at the Elite League table as it stands. Here are the playoff berths as they stand. Swindon out on top. Poole and Coventry, who are in action tonight, are second and third. Peterborough are still up there, and Wolverhampton knocking on the door.
Yeah, and Poole and Coventry have done the business so far, well and truly ensconced in the top four. And of course, that's the all-important top four for the playoffs come the end of the league campaign. And both these teams are looking good so far this season.
And Coventry really hampered by that weather, just 20 matches ridden.
Yeah, they've had a lot of rain-off so far, and you know, they'll be looking at it from the point of view that they've got matches in hand and they need to sort of like surge up the table, because you can get in the top two, you get a home draw going into the playoffs, and that's vital.
It's also going to be very interesting to see who gets that fourth playoff berth. Wolverhampton knocking at the door, and of course the champions are Peterborough, and they don't want to stay in fourth, do they?
No, they don't, and you've got to say that Peterborough have come strong of late, and they went to Wolverhampton recently and won, so that was a really good victory for them. One that would have hurt Wolverhampton, no doubt about it, but yeah, the Panthers all of a sudden really getting into their stride.
OK, let's concentrate on our match tonight by looking at the two teams, starting with the home team, Coventry Bees. Tonight the Bees are once again led by captain Scott Nicholls.
Yeah, Nicholls is looking good, coming good. Oliver Allen at number 2. I tell you what, he's having a super season and really has settled well here at this team now. Rory Schlein has had injuries in the past, but this year he's injury-free and really making that number 3 role his. Steve Johnson, now he comes in to replace Morten Reisiger, who's been released, and he's been brought in primarily for strengthening up the middle order. At number 5, of course, we've got Chris Harris. Now, we know all about Chris Harris. He's having a wonderful season.
And the reserves, Billy Gennaro dropping down to reserve, and Martin Smolinski having a good season at 7.
Yeah, the two reserves, you've got to say, are looking strong this evening. And I've got to say that, you know, that could be pivotal to tonight's meeting. But I've got to pick out Scott Nicholls. Just recently, at international level, Scotty really has begun to find his top form. And last Saturday night, we saw him make the final in the GP. And that, I'm sure, will be very encouraging for the Coventry Bees as we get to this crucial stage of the season.
And it's a vein of form that began at the British Grand Prix, in fact, where he made his first semi-final there. He looked good here at Coventry in the World Cup, and like you say, his Grand Prix form has been great, and of course for Coventry he's always good.
Yeah, it's been pretty solid for Coventry, I've got to say. It's been the international scene where he's struggled, but you're dead right. Those 3 meetings you've mentioned, he certainly has begun to pick up his performance, and that will do his confidence no end of good for the rest of the season.
All right, we'll be keeping an eye on him tonight, but let's turn our attention to the away team, the Poole Pirates. big news tonight is that Jason Crump will not be taking part. He's having a knee operation. Get well soon. I'm sure he's watching. Hans Andersen comes in as a guest at 1, and that's going to be interesting too.
Yeah, always a top performer, Hans Andersen. And number 2, Troy Batchelor, the young Australian, coming into the main body of the team out of reserve for tonight's meeting. He's doing good stuff at Poole Pirates. Bjarne Pedersen, of course, the captain's aside, always rock solid in the Elite League. Edward Kennett has been a revelation this year, joining the Pirates. Got to say, it really has been a terrific move for him. And at number 5, Craig Boyce, of course, vastly experienced, but still doing the business for the Pirates.
And the 2 reserves, Peter Schwiss at 6 and Jason Doyle at 7.
Yeah, I just feel that they may be slightly vulnerable there, the away team. On their previous visit here, both those 2 riders only scored a point between them, so that could be crucial to tonight's match. But this man, Hans Andersen, has got a lot of responsibility tonight. He replaces the world champion, and Jason Crump is so consistent in the league. He scores double figures week in, night out. And he knows the sort of role he needs to play.
It's interesting you pick Hans Andersen because it is a dual role. He obviously rides for Peterborough. If he has a good night, someone like him can score a maximum for an away team like this, which is what they hope he will do. And like you say, Jason is expected to do that sort of thing. But if he has a bad night and he doesn't come with his A game, as he almost did on Saturday night, then actually he could be detrimental to them.
Yes, and that's always the chance you take with a guest, but a rider of Hans Andersen's calibre, you have to say that the chances are that he's going to be doing the business here this evening.
Well, our team are ready to do the business. Sophie Blake's down in the pits, and David Norris is out on track. And David, I've already said it's a beautiful night. How's the track?
Beautiful night, beautiful track to go with it. It makes a change to be standing in this glorious weather on the track. I mean, they've done wonders with it today. The starts are all been ripped up, everything's even, so we shouldn't get any sort of advantages from any of that. It should be just good racing that proves to be the winner there at the end of the day. It's been ripped up around the outside nicely. The inside's a little bit slick, but like I say, for once the track's settled after a couple of weeks, and it's just perfect. Everything's here for a good meeting.
Yeah, it's good to hear, Dave, that conditions are so good. We should be in for a exciting night at Speedway. But both the tracks, Poole Pirates track and the Coventry track, very similar. Does that actually give the Pirates an advantage coming here tonight?
I was thinking that earlier myself. If I was standing here, I could be at Poole. It's very similar. The way that they've done the track here, the Poole do the same things with the starts and rip the outside up. But also the shape's very similar. You'll pull the same sort of gearing. And I think you said earlier that it was quite a close meeting here on the A fixture, so I think it's going to be much the same again tonight.
Thanks, David. We'll let you head off to commentary and let's go down to the pits where Sophie Blake has got the captains.
Yes, I have. I've actually got Steve Johnson with me and Bjarne Pedersen, and I have to say the big resounding feeling here with all the riders that it's great to actually have a meeting on this evening. I'll come to Steve first. You were saying to me earlier you actually feel like it's the beginning of a new season. You've had so many rain-offs.
Yeah, I had a little bit of time out, sort of sat around waiting when Oxford went bump, and then I thought, great, I've got here, and then I think I've had 4 meetings. We've had 8 rain-offs. It's been unbelievable. No one's known anything like it.
So tonight, facing Poole, last time they were here, it was very close, wasn't it? How are the guys feeling?
Yeah, we're feeling pretty good. I mean, the track's really good tonight. It looks very even all over. Good racing track, and I think it'll be a pretty evenly matched meeting.
All right, best of luck to you. Bjarne, I shall come to you. As I was just saying, it was very close, but then you're missing Jason tonight.
Yeah, I mean, we know that'll be very hard every time we went there, and Jason was doing a good job last time, but we got Hans to replace him, and we know Hans, he can do it, and he's a world-class rider, so everybody is up for it, and hopefully, we can get a good start of the meeting.
It's very important now, isn't it, at the point where at the season where you do want to be in that top spot, in the top 2. With Hans here, you think that you're going to win tonight?
It's always difficult. It's difficult when you're away, If there was a home meeting, I'd say yes straight away. But of course, we're up for it, and we'll try. Can we get a good start of the meeting? I think that'll be the key. Last time we was here, we was down by some point in the beginning, but pulling a little bit back in the end. But we need to beat it from hit 1, yeah.
All right, best of luck to you as well. Back over to Calvin and Jonathan.
Thanks, Soph. Yeah, we know it's an important matchup. It's second against third. Question is, who's going to win it, Calvin?
I'm going to go with the home team, but because just feel that they've got a bit more strength and depth for tonight. But I do expect the Pirates to get away to a good, sharp start here because they've got gates 1 and 3. But overall, after 15 heats, I expect the Bees to come out on top.
Finally, another man who needs a big night, I would have said Chris Harris, because he too has had a little bit of a dip since that wonderful time at the Millennium Stadium.
And you can excuse him that dip, because he's been on such a high and mentally probably feels a bit tired, but he needs to just settle down and get back into his racing, and I fully expect him to do so.
All right, well, we'll settle down as well as Heat 1 is about to get underway. Let's join our commentary team of Dave Norris and Tony Millard.
Yes, good evening and welcome indeed to the Speedway hotbed here that's known as the Brandon Stadium. Dave's moved up alongside me. This is a battle between two of the sport's top clubs. Coventry lost just once at home all season. Poole, well, they've lost just once home and away in their last 15 league meetings. David, it's going to be quite a contest.
Yeah, it's great. Looking forward to this as well. Hans Anderson, Scott Nichols always produces great speedway. There's a little bit of maybe extended rivalry between them, so it's going to be a good night of speedway straight from Heat 1.
There you see across the tapes indeed there, the man in yellow, quickly Troy Batchelor. Last time we saw him he was injured, but then held at the tapes. Our referee tonight is Jim Lawrence. Away we go, and a great start on the inside by Troy Batchelor in yellow for Poole. Backing him up, his teammate and partner in green. That's Hans Anderson. Back in third place in blue, it's Oliver Allen. Right at the back in red is Scott Nichols. And that, David, a major surprise.
Unbelievable. What an absolute lightning start there from Batchelor off the inside gate. Hans Anderson, we may well have expected, but look at Scott Nichols at the back. He's struggling. Ollie Allen's not really putting too much pressure on Batchelor at the moment. And like I say, you wouldn't believe there's a 5-1 at the moment to the Pirates.
Well, we heard you summary down on track, and in perfectly fair track indeed. A reminder of the home team, that's the Coventry Bees, wear the red and the blue helmets throughout the meeting. The visitors from Poole wear the green and yellow ones, and it's green and yellow certainly dominating here as they go into the final lap. Poole set for a 5-1. The eclipse of Scott Nichols at the back, absolutely amazing. But what a ride by this man in green out front. Hans Anderson down the back straight. Troy Batchelor is with him, and Hans Anderson's a guest rider, just the very best they want to do. Hans Anderson takes it in green. In second place, his teammate and partner in yellow is Troy Batchelor. Third place goes to Oliver Allen, and in last place, amazingly, Scott Nichols, who's yet to get a home maximum here this season, and he won't be doing it tonight. But to be honest, that was a shock for the home fans and the Poole Pirates management, Neil Middleditch in particular, who needs a lift after that World Cup problem in Poland, will be delighted with his team here. Hans Anderson, the race winner, 3 race points. Troy Batchelor, his teammate and partner, 2. Oliver Allen, the consolation point for Coventry. Scott Nichols failed to score after one heat. Poole Pirates, the visitors, lead by 5 points to 1, David. What a shock.
Yeah, magic start there for the Pirates, but interesting to see. Look at Batchelor. I knew he made an absolute blinder and did slightly anticipate the start. I think the Bees men will be on the phone if they see that replay there. But at the end of the day, he rode a fantastic race, Batchelor here. Look, this is maturity. Looks for his teammate on the outside. Once again, there's Ollie Allen there. We just see him from the start. And Batchelor and Anderson are away. Now, Batchelor does look for his teammate. Top stuff there from Batchelor. There's Scotty Nichols on the outside, getting covered and getting out of shape. Big style. Batchelor now has looked for his partner and got by. And it's a real comfortable 5-1. You see Scotty Nichols, he's just not making it work from that outside start. Coming out that corner, he got well out of shape. But from the Pirates' point of view here, it's a fantastic, brilliant start for them, and maybe a little bit lucky there from the start, but really good stuff there from the Pirates.
Well, a tremendous performance. The race winner, Hans Anderson, is in the pits with Sophie Blake.
Thank you very much. Well, Hans, that was a dream start for you and great for Poole.
Yeah, really good. And me and Troy, it's just after the book what we planned in the first when we walked the track. We said, well, he'll make the gate and I'll blast around the outside, and Speedway easy when you gate. Yeah, it's good. It's a good start for Poole.
This is a track that you do well on, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a good track. It's a race track. Later on, you'll see people blasting around the outside. So hopefully, I can keep gating like now.
Well, we've also had some good news. We've just heard that Jason has woken up from his operation and everything has gone very well. And we believe he's watching the show. So best of luck and get well soon. Back to the guys.
Thanks indeed, Sophie, and welcome to Jason Crump. We hope for him it's Wolsey Matilda. Tonight, his team in front by 5 points to 1. His deputy winning the very first race. This is heat number 2 coming up. The reserves heat. A reminder, the points count exactly the same. 3 for a race win, 2 for second, 1 for third. A reminder, 2 Speedway machines. They're 500cc capacity, no gears, no brakes, achieve about 70 miles an hour in the straight. But as the riders line up for heat number 2, this is the reserve heat for Coventry, Billy Gennaro and Martin Smolinski. For Poole, it's Pietro Swiss and Jason Doyle. The man in the green helmet colour there is Pietro Swiss, 39-year-old. But he's going from gate 2. For Coventry on the inside is Billy Gennaro, down a reserve now. Gate 3 occupied by Martin Smolinski, who's hoping for a wildcard place in the German Grand Prix. And on the outside, Jason Doyle, the youngster from Newcastle in New South Wales. That's the lineup but this is heat number 2 now. And David, this is the chance for Poole to, or rather for Coventry to pull it straight back.
We would expect to, but after heat 1, I mean, who knows if the Pirates can make a lightning start like that again. But as it goes in the context of the league, I would say that the Coventry reserves are very strong, so maybe they can fight straight back with a 5-1 here.
Starting once and Gary Stokes moved away. Referee Jim Lawrence presses the button away from the outside. Down goes the man in yellow. That's Jason Doyle down at the back, and of course down with him too. Well, real problems here. The man in blue going down, Martin Smolinski. Our referee Jim Lawrence stopping the race there. He will want to make a decision here, but he's got to decide on what happens. The race stopped, obviously in the interest of safety, David. Let's see it again with you. Yeah,
pretty sure it's all 4. All the guys are having a go in the corner, and unfortunately Doyley, being off a 4, gets the rough end of it. I'm pretty sure we'll hear from Jim at the moment what the decision is. Just see their clatter, you know, and even there's Smolinski getting a rub up from the guy on the inside, and it's just a skittle effect there. But I'm pretty sure it's going to be all 4 after that one. Hopefully all the guys are up and they're okay.
Well, it's almost like a domino effect here, David, as they bundle out into Jason Doyle.
That's the one I was looking for, domino effect. Don't worry about the Skittles. But there you go.
Referee's verdict.
Yeah, it's an unsatisfactory start, and it'll be rerun with all 4 riders, please.
There you heard the verdict of our referee tonight, Jim Lawrence. All 4 riders back in the rerun. David Norris had it exactly right. The game was not Skittles, it was dominoes, but down they went. They're now up on their feet, and everybody's going to be okay. In our studio, Kelvin Tatum and Jonathan Green.
Hey, listen, Skittles, dominoes, all the same to me. They fell off. But all 4 back, fair decision.
Dead right. You know, actually, that was a really good even break. And you've got to say that Jason Doyle, you know, you see him coming here from the outside, and he's so desperate to get across because he would have witnessed what had happened to Scott Nicholls in the opening race, where he got stranded high and wide on the first corner and actually failed to score. But as they got there, they all squeezed up. He got a nudge off Martin Smolinski, but Peter Swist is the one that gives Martin Smolinski no room, and Smolinski then runs into Jason Doyle, and that domino effect, and unfortunately he's the one that goes down. But he's got a second chance now, and sometimes in these conditions, Jonathan, it's actually almost as well not to make quite such a good start. If you don't quite get there, you then do have the opportunity to turn back up the inside. But you know, as a youngster, he'll be keen to try and really rip out of gate 4 and get across and try and hit the front.
It's always hard out of gate 4, I would have thought, because like you say, that sort of situation can happen all the time, depending on how good a start you get.
Well, yeah, and David said in his track report that the starts were very even, and of course you've got further to go from the outside, so when you get an even start like that and they're all 4 abreast as they enter the first turn, it's always difficult, particularly if you've got there alongside the guy on gate 3. You have to make that decision quite early sometimes to actually back the throttle off and turn to the inside, but when you're young and keen, you don't ever think about battening the throttle off. Well, you just keep it wide open.
Yeah, and Doyle and Smolinski are exactly that, aren't they?
Yeah, they're 2 chargers, you know, and you know, it's refreshing to see that sort of commitment from the guys. But this time, he'll be coming there. Jason Doyle, he's had an injury this season so far, so he'll want to stay out of trouble. But be interesting to see what he does second time around.
I tell you what, Hans Andersen was booed by the Coventry fans when he was introduced tonight, and well, they might, because they know that he can do what he's capable of doing in Heat 1, because a surprise start for the Poole Pirates.
Not entirely surprising, because they got gates 1 and 3, and that really is quite pivotal, and you can understand why Scott Nicholls there, desperate to get across, but when you've got a rider like Hans Andersen underneath you, you know it's going to be very difficult, and that is...
He certainly knows.
Exactly.
He's had a few tussles with him in the past.
He has indeed, but be interesting in Billy Gennaro. This man, Billy Gennaro, made a really good start from gate 1, hasn't been in good form of late, but a rider of his calibre dropping down into reserve berth, that just strengthens up that reserve berth area, and I'm sure Billy will be really keen this month while he's down there to really pile the points in.
Okay, Heat 2 coming up, the restart of Heat 2. All 4 back, it's 5-1 to Poole at the moment. Let's rejoin David Norris and Tony Millard.
On the inside there, we have Billy Gennaro down to reserve for the first time. The man in blue in the middle of the picture there is Martin Smolinski. The 22-year-old German is making his 100th appearance here for Coventry tonight. The riders in action for Poole is the man in gate 2 there, Peter Swiss. He's in the blue helmet colours, away form, and he scored 8 played 10 in his last 4 Elite League away matches. And on the outside, Jason Doyle, his best away performance of the season, ironically, was here at Coventry back in March. That's the lineup. This is Heat number 2. Away we go for the second heat of the night. A reminder, the visitors Poole lead by 5 points to 1. But at the moment, a chance for the home team, Poole, to pull them back. A bit close there between those two gates, but let's see what happens here. A bit of creeping, but away they go. It's Billy Gennaro in red. Jason Doyle coming across from the outside, though, in clinical style there. Jason Doyle, the man in the yellow helmet colour. His teammate and partner, Pietro Swift, is back in third place. The man in second place in red, that's Billy Gennaro. He's putting the pressure on, and right at the back is Martin Smolinski.
You've got to take your hat off there to the youngster Doyle. He was being pushed from the word go before the tapes even went up by Smolinski, but he didn't back down, made a real good first corner, good start. He's out in front, see him head over the front of the bike's really pulling him hard. And at the moment Smolinski's getting out of shape at the back. Gennaro's starting to put Doyle under a bit of pressure now, so he's going to have to keep his head down and keep his concentration up, because Gennaro will chase him down and make a race of it, that's for sure.
Well, it's a tremendous ride this by Jason Doyle, who went from that outside gate, cut across, used his speed, but is now in trouble because Billy Gennaro comes up to see him middle, inside there, and what a battle. Now goes Doyle at the back, whose effort was too much, and this has turned the race almost on its head because Billy Gennaro takes it in red. The man in green in second place is Pietro Swift for the Poole Pirates, but third place now goes to the man in blue. That's Martin Smolinski. Jason Doyle took a tumble after going so well throughout the race, but you've got to say they went across the checkered flag there. The race completed indeed with Jason Doyle down at the back, and the triumph to Billy Gennaro with those points, and that's, well, a heat advantage indeed to Coventry, who've now closed the gap. And, well, for heat number 2, that's almost the perfect result. Not quite, but the result across the checkered flag, the race winner, Billy Gennaro, who completed 4 laps for Coventry, 3 points. Pietro Swift for Poole, 2 points. Martin Smolinski, 1. That's how it finished. Jason Doyle took a tumble and failed to score. It's now Coventry 5, Poole 7 with 2 heats gone, David.
I'll tell you 2 heats gone, but we got a meeting here already. Look at that down the back straight. Doyle did make a little bit of a hash. Good stuff there from Gennaro. Doyle just doesn't back off again. And I'll tell you what, that's youth for you, mate. In a couple more years' time, he might have just knocked it off and popped under him again. But it's really trying, just doesn't quite get there. He's in the wrong spot. Billy Gennaro does nothing wrong at all. It's Doyle's fault, but you've got to feel for him. He had a real brave battle of a race right from the start there. But we see him just spite the dust again. Unlucky there for Doyle.
It's very unlucky indeed for Jason Doyle because he was going so fast. Gennaro putting the pressure on, it has to be said. And the checkered flag taken indeed by Billy Gennaro, who had time to look back. And Sophie Blake is in the pits.
I certainly am. Well, Billy, that was quite a battle at the end there.
Yeah, he let off the gas going into the last turn and had to make a go for it.
You were fighting and riding very hard. I think we're going to actually have the bit on the monitor to show you. Here we go.
Yeah, I was way past him, and then I thought I passed him easily. Then he just tried to lean on me, and you know, I didn't even know he was there. I thought I was, you know, way past him, but it's definitely his fault, you know. He's turning left, going into the corner. He could have stayed on his bike if he wanted to, but you know.
Well, it was a win that you guys needed, wasn't it? You've actually personally gone down to reserve. Does that make you want to ride harder?
I've done, I think, 3 meetings in 2 months, so I just want to ride. I don't care.
So it's not disappointing for you. You're happy to be where you are and just to ride hard and get back up there.
Yeah, you know, I haven't been a reserve since my first year, so you know, it's a little knock on the head, like, you know, what's going on. So hopefully things will turn around right now.
All right, best of luck this evening. Back to Calvin and Jonathan.
Thanks, Soph. And Jason joins us. You're not happy with that, are you?
No, definitely not. I thought I didn't make the best of exits coming out of turn 2, and when I come into the next corner, there was nowhere to go, really. Just put that extra bike length in there, and I thought that I had nowhere to go. If I went a foot further, I probably would have went faster into the fence.
Sure, it's unfortunate because you made such a good start, and particularly after the initial start where you'd come down. But we can actually have a look at it just again, Jason, and you can talk us through it right here now. As
yeah, I didn't make the best of starts coming out of that corner, and yeah, he's gave it an extra bike coming into that corner and just had nowhere to go, really. He just clipped. I got my arm clipped on him, and yeah, went down. But I'm just a bit angry.
Sure. Frustrating for you because obviously you'd made a really good fist of it up until that point, but plenty of racing to go, and clearly you've settled in, and the place, you like this place?
Yeah, definitely. Last time I come here it wasn't so good, but the first time I come here was a little bit better, but it's just having them 2 weeks off. All other top boys have been riding, so just need to get back to racing and see how it goes.
See if we can do 4 laps, eh?
Yeah, that's it. Thanks.
Listen, well done, hard luck, and keep going, keep battling.
Good luck to you.
Cheers.
Not
yeah,
easy.
as you can see there up at Tapes. So let's get back to the action. Heat 3 coming up. Schlein, Kennett, Johnson and Pedersen in this one. Let's once again join David and Tony.
Yes, in time for heat number 3, and a chance again for the home team to clear or close that gap. It's Bjarne Pedersen on the inside, going for Poole in the green helmet colour. Steve Johnson for Coventry in blue, gate 2. It's Edward Kennett in yellow for Poole, gate 3 on the outside. That's the Australian Rory Schlein. 2 Australians in action for the home team Coventry, a Dane and a young Englishman in Edward Kennett in action for the visitors from Poole. Man in the green helmet colour there, Bjarne Pedersen. We saw him in the Grand Prix on Saturday. He needs 11 points to reach 300 in all elite league competitions here this season. That's the man, Bjarne Pedersen. Must be favourite perhaps for this one, but Edward Kennett will be a good teammate and partner for him. Our starting margin moves away, and away they go. And a great start for the man in green, Bjarne Pedersen, up the inside, but going with him, the 2 home riders from Coventry. The man in blue there is Steve Johnson in second place. In third place is Rory Schlein, and Edward Kennett, who rode so well here in the World Cup, is right at the back, but his teammate and partner, the Dane, Bjarne Pedersen, way out in front, David.
Yeah, I'll tell you something though, Eddie Kennett won't give up. It was really unusual because the World Cup qualifier, Eddie made 4 or 5 of the best starts of his career, but watch Eddie round the curve, he's real clever and he will keep plugging away. But Rory Schlein, I mean, he's had a blinder here this year so far, but look at Eddie Kennett trying to go around the outside of him now. I'll tell you what, I reckon he's going to get him, Tony.
A tremendous ride, and there Edward Kennett is now after second place as well, as he sets out after Steve Johnson with a lap to go. Perhaps it's too much for Eddie Kennett to do. It's not too much for the man out front, because Bjarne Pedersen is coasting away down the back straight. 2 bends for Kennett to catch Steve Johnson. Johnson will go wide. Kennett's going to come up the inside. Bjarne Pedersen takes it. Steve Johnson holds on to second place in blue. Edward Kennett gets third place in yellow, and it's a disconsolate Rory Schlein that rolls home very, very slowly across the line in last place. But that was a battle there. A good performance in the end by Edward Kennett, who was a slow starter. But a good performance by this man, Bjarne Pedersen, the heat winner for the Poole Pirates. There we see 3 race points for Bjarne Pedersen for Poole, 2 for Coventry and Steve Johnson. Edward Kennett and Poole picks up 1. It's a 4-2 heat advantage. Poole now lead by 11 points to 7.
I'll tell you, I'm pleased I didn't have to give a prediction because I really thought that Eddie Kennett would make another blinder here, but there you see Rory Schlein just gets across him, another half first cornered. This means a lot to these boys tonight. And see Bjarne Pedersen classic there, he's gone, he's there from the front, leads the race, but it's all about Eddie Kennett and Rory Schlein now. See, there you go, see John around the inside, but later on I think we're going to see another one from the start now. Jono makes a blinder there on the inside as well. Pedersen chin over the front, but it's all about Kennett and Schlein on these next 3 laps. And Eddie really does chase him down hard, even so much that he nearly gets a sniff at second place at the end of the race. But real good stuff there from Eddie Kennett. We have a look at the overtake. The only thing, I'll give you an inside sniff on this one, Tony, is I don't think Rory Schlein's up to tonight. He looks a bit ill earlier. I spoke to him and he has been unwell, so let's just hope for his sake that it's not fatigue or something. But brilliant stuff from Eddie Kennett there. Shoulder over Rory Schlein, and brilliant pass there from Eddie.
Well, Edward Kennett, who provided the life and soul of that one, is in the pits with Sophie Blake.
Yes, thanks, Tony. I just want to say what a great battle that was. Such determined riding, and 1 point like that makes such a difference at these moments.
Yeah, I mean, every point counts, and, you know, the track's a little bit grippier than the World Cup, and I managed to keep plugging around the outside and managed just to pip him off. So I'm pretty happy with that one.
A good start for Poole so far. Did they think it was going to be so good?
You know, I mean, we got a really good guest. You know, we've lost Jason, so we got Hans, but no, I mean, Troy's going well at number 2, so hopefully we can get the reserves going and win it.
You're riding well, and you've got the World Under 21 coming up in September, so you must be looking forward to that.
Yeah, I mean, this is my big chance. You know, there's a few good riders in that, but you know, I'm 21 this year, so it's my last chance, and I just want to go out there and give my last shot.
All right, best of luck for that, and for tonight, back over to Dave and Tony.
In time for heat number 4, and the man of British Speedway of the moment, Chris Harris, is in this one. There we see Chris Harris up against the air safety fence, which plays such a big part here, and it's great safety. And there, Chris Harris, as you can see, has been scoring double figures regularly here. A bit disappointing, perhaps, for him in the Grand Prix on Saturday, but Chris Harris, we know what he can do round here. A great favourite with the locals. It's 199th top flight appearance tonight for the young man from Truro. Here he comes up in gate number 4. That is Chris Bomber Harris. There's a reserve for each team in this. Martin Smolinski, Harris's partner, Jason Doyle, is back, dusted himself down and up for the job. And Craig Boyce is going to be 40 this week. He won't thank me for that. He's back in action in the green helmet colour. The lineup: Jason Doyle on the inside for Poole. Gate 2 for Coventry, the German Martin Smolinski. Gate 3, the veteran Craig Boyce, the Australian from Sydney. And Bomber Harris on the outside. Quite a contest, a mixture between young and old in this one, David.
Yeah, you'd have to say, and you'd fancy Bomber's chances just to pull away from this one. The track does look like it suits him tonight. It could be about the 3 guys on the inside. Smolinski's going to have to pick his game up. He's going to help these bees pull this disadvantage back.
Well, a reminder of that scoreline at the moment. It's 11-7, but away they go, and a great start from Chris Harris on the outside. Away he goes. Harris down the back straight in the red helmet colour. He's sailing away. His teammate and partner in blue, Martin Smolinski, he's moved into second place. It leaves the 2 Poole boys at the back, but they're challenging, and now coming through is Jason Doyle, who's gone by. Quick boy, Doyle in the second place. What a battle in second place, David.
Yeah, great stuff there. Smolinski's got him back. You look at, oh, he's out of shape again. I'd say he got a bit tentative on the last lap. He's just messed it up once again, and Doyle's gone back, hammered underneath Smolinski on the previous lap, just like Gino did, and now he comes cutting back against Smolinski again. What a great race.
Chris Harris is sailing away up front, but look at this action in second place between these two. A tremendous race. Jason Doyle goes into the last lap for Poole in yellow, but really pushing him in blue there. Martin Smolinski right at the back in green. Craig Boyce. Harris is going to win it by the proverbial street. Harris takes the checkered flag. Look at second place. Oh, Harris has got a puncture, I think, but he's got across the line in time. In second place, in yellow, there is Jason Doyle. The man in third place is Martin Smolinski. But what happened to Chris Harris going across the line there? All sorts of things went wrong. I'm not quite sure what hit him, because he's usually so safe and sure. But, well, Chris Harris won it, but not without a bit of trauma. 3 points for Chris Harris and Coventry, 2 for Jason Doyle and Poole, 1 for Martin Smolinski of the Coventry Bees there. 4-2, it closes up. Coventry 11, Poole 13, with 4 heats gone.
Yeah, brilliant stuff there. I did have a snidey look over your shoulder on that last lap there, Tony, and Chris just picked up where we saw Smolinski picking up as well. But good, there's a clever corner here from Martin. You see him, he just don't quite make it. And he pops under the lock coming out of this corner, uses his head, bit of track knowledge, you've got to say. Chris Harris, we can see going out the outside, and he was like 2.5 laps ahead of him. You know, he really did fly, but it was about, I did say it's about these 3 guys, and it certainly was. Doyle and Smolinski, it really was, like you say, Tony, ding-dong. Look at this, there's 3 of these guys here. No one's given up. You see Doyle, he hammers underneath Smolinski, just like Gennaro did to him. Then Martin gets a real good run round here, but the thing's, the previous lap, he just got a bit out of shape on this corner, and I think once again Bosch, he hits his lump of dirt. There we go. And I'll tell you what, while this is all happening, I mean, we've got a race here. Harris is like I said, 2.5 laps ahead, but he hits that same lump of dirt and all. And this is Chris Harris, man. He just gets out of shape, and Bosch hits the fence. This is Chris Bomber. There's something out there. There's a few tricks on the track, but what a race. Great speedway.
Rubber on rubber, a wall of death by Chris Harris round that final bend. A tremendous performance and a tremendous beating at the moment. It's Coventry 11, Poole 13. We have 2 top teams. We're having some top speedway. Only 4 races are gone. There are 11 more to come. Join us after the break.
Welcome back to Brandon Stadium, and what a speedway match we've got for you tonight. 13-11, it's the away team that leads. Poole leading Coventry in the early stages here. Well, I've heard of fencing before, but this is quite different sport. Never seen anybody do this and get away with it. It's almost Rickardson, about the closest, but look at that.
I'll tell you what, he was very lucky there. He ran down very narrow. I think he may have just relaxed on that last corner. He had such a big lead, and I think he just may have switched off just for a fraction of a second. The bike lifted. He then ran across the track into the heavy stuff on the outside. It lifted once again, back tyre hit the air fence, he did very well to stay on his bike. Could have been very embarrassing.
I'd like to say, I wonder if a lesser rider would have held on. I mean, we know how strong he is, and he's only a little guy, is Chris Harris.
Yeah, there's a very good chance a lesser rider would have actually have come off, actually buried himself in the bottom of the air fence there. But all of a sudden, the survival instinct of Chris Harris kicked in, and he picked up a three points there for his team. Troy Batchelor, got to say, he was very impressive in his opening ride alongside Hans Andersen. He made a terrific start off of gate 1. He looked over his right shoulder and allowed Andersen around the outside, and came in for a nice paid win in his opening ride. So another young Australian coming good.
Hans Andersen in this one as well, and they'll do well to beat him. He looks on form tonight, doesn't he?
He looked pretty good in that opening one, and they as a pair looked very strong. So in Heat 5 here, with Rory Schlein disappointing in his opening ride, Steve Johnson and Schlein are right up against it here.
OK, Coventry have got to stop Hans Andersen. Here once again, David Norris and Tony Millard.
Thank you, Jonathan. In time for heat number 5 on the inside. Rory Schlein goes for Coventry in the red helmet colour. Troy Batchelor in yellow for Poole. Gate 2, Steve Johnson in blue for Coventry. Gate 3 on the outside. Hans Andersen, a winner. First time out. A vitally important heat in what could be a pivotal Speedway meeting here between these two teams in second and third place in the table. Every rider on tenterhooks. The crowd thoroughly enjoying the racing so far, which has been anything but uneventful. Our referee Jim Lawrence looking down, fingers on the buttons. Gary Snooks there is the starting marshal, trying to get the riders up to tape. There's a little bit of a panic there, trying to move Hans Andersen up there. Andersen has gone very wide, as you see there, to give himself space to make it from the gate and come across from that outside gate. Hans Andersen is there in the green helmet colour, and away he goes. A lightning start from that man, but up the inside in red goes Rory Schlein. Schlein is chasing Andersen. Round the outside in blue goes Steve Johnson. A wall of death ride that indeed, and Troy Batchelor is now trying to push through, and Batchelor takes Johnson wide. The Coventry fans won't like that. A rare battle at the back, but Andersen clear at the front, David.
Yeah, well, he is clear. Rory's just putting him under some pressure, but it all happened once again. There's certainly something happening on this corner. It's getting a little bit heavy there, and fair play to Jono. He stayed on and to Troy Batchelor. Got very close, could have been nasty. Young versus old there at that corner. It's settling down now, Tony. It was looking like a 3-all, but certainly the track ain't settled down on this bend, that's for sure.
Well, Hans Andersen is in front, scored 14 points out of 15 on his only appearance here so far this season for Peterborough. They made a good choice of guest. Hans Andersen down the back straight. It's stringing out now. The man in second place is Rory Schlein. Into the top bend they go. Steve Johnson coming round. It's going to be a 3-all because Batchelor's right at the back, but the victory goes indeed to the man in green, Hans Andersen. And well, with Coventry riders in red and blue helmets there, packing into second and third, it's a 3-all for the heat behind Hans Andersen, and it keeps the record now at just 2 points between the two teams. But a tremendous ride there by Hans Andersen. What a ride that was. From pillar to post, he went wide. He left plenty of space between he and the man in gate 3 and took it all from pillar to post. Hans Andersen, 3 race points. Rory Schlein for Coventry 2. Steve Johnson for Coventry 1. Troy Batchelor failed to score. 3-all for the heat. Coventry 14, Poole 16.
I tell you what, this is a massive race here, massive heat for the Bees, because it could have started to drift away from them. We really expected Batchelor to make maybe a little bit better of the start and of the race in general, but the Bees just shut him out here on the first corner. Hans Andersen, lightning gate again from him. The guys are really struggling a little bit. It's a little bit grippier than they I think it was at the moment out there, and they're sort of getting out of shape, but fair play. Here we go, Jono there in blue, going around the lot, and he just starts to pick up and lift down the straight. Look how close he is to the fence there. I mean, this is Steve Jono. He's kicking on a little bit himself now, but here's the youngster underneath him, and here we go. He just starts to pick up, as Chris Harris did. Bang, he actually rides into Steve Johnson there, but Jono doesn't back off. I'll tell you what, mate, that's fair play to Jono, and just after this Batchelor starts to go backwards, but you can just see it picking up there again, and fair play to both of them guys. They stayed on and still made a good race of it. Good stuff.
Well, the man with 2 wins from 2 rises in our studio. Hans Andersen and Kelvin and Jonathan.
Yeah, the perfect start for a guest, that's for sure. Hans, you must be pleased with that.
Yeah, I made 2 good gates, so I'm fairly happy, but I come in for the world champion, so it's a big bib to wear. You know?
Is it strange as a guest coming in? Because obviously, you know, you want to get some points, you're scoring points, that's what you do, but it's always strange coming into a new team.
Yeah, well, I know most of these riders anyway, so we get on fairly well. So it's fairly easy, and I'm surprised. I think this is the first time I guess for Poole since I ever left them. So it's nice to wear the race jacket again. And like I said, I've got to do my job. I do my best for Jason. I'm glad, I hope his operation.
He's supposedly watching, so you're doing a good job so far.
Yeah, doing the business for him so far. That's exactly what they will want. But it seems quite difficult going into turn 3. Is that the light, or is that because the sun comes across there, or is it the track surface?
I think it's the sun, because as you come in, you actually get blinded, and you go from the slick bit to the really heavy sip. So if you don't have a tinted lens, you don't see it, and that's why I think some of the riders get cut off.
Because we saw Chris Harris get right out of shape there.
Yeah, he's lucky, he hit the fence, come off the corners, but I'm glad he didn't crash, because it could have been a nasty one.
Sure, yeah. Okay, well, super stuff from you so far tonight. I'm sure you'll be wanting to keep it going.
Yeah, I have to. Jason scored 18-point maximum in his, so.
Looking at the record books.
I just want to say hello to Jason. I hope you get back soon, Jason.
Thanks, Hans. Nice words. And as you can see, they're up at Tate's. Let's once again join Dave and Tony.
Don't want anybody complaining about the sun. It's a rare thing, that yellow item in the sky, and we're delighted to see it. This is heat number 6. That man in the red there is Scott Nicholls. Disappointing last time out, but it's Craig Boyce for Poole on the inside in green. Gate 2, Scott Nicholls for Coventry. Last in his first ride, looking for victory here. 5th for the Swissly Reserve, who've got a 2nd place first time out. He goes for Poole in yellow, gate 3, and it's Ollie Allen on the outside in the blue helmet colour for Coventry. A reminder, Coventry 14, Poole 16. The Coventry riders wear the red and the blue helmet colours. The visitors from Poole, the green and yellow. Each heat is 4 laps clutch start. The yellow and black flag goes out after the 3rd lap, and the checkered flag greets the riders when they completed 4. It's a 15-heat meeting. This is heat number 6. Away goes our starting marshal. Jim Lawrence holds the tape. The riders hesitate, but a lightning start this time by Scott Nicholls in red. Nicholls, who looked so good in the Grand Prix on Saturday, allowing his teammate and partner in blue, Ollie Allen, to come round the outside, holding off the man on the inside in green, Craig Boyce. Well, look at Boyce. Boyce has gone right across the ball. Nicholls stood back. Boyce unloaded Oliver Allen. Our referee will have to make the decision here, but Boyce seemed to lose it on that bend, and he cut right across. And our referee, Jim Lawrence, will be looking at it with us, I'm sure, to see exactly what happened there, David. But Boyce, where did he go?
Well, it's just that bit of grip again. It's catching everyone out. There's nothing intentional about that. It's just getting close, and now down goes Ollie Allen. His peaks come off his crash out. Could have been nasty. Hopefully he'll get up, but it's just determination there from Craig Boyce, and he just picks up. Totally unintentional, but we've seen it happen in the previous heat. That could have been exactly the same thing that happened again.
Race has stopped in the interest of safety. It'll be rerun with the exclusion of the rider in green, who was the primary cause of the stoppage, and I've not got any discretion on awarding it, so I'll have to go again.
There's our referee, Jim Lawrence. The race will be rerun. You can see it there. Craig Boyce losing control, a bit out of luck, but that bend at David Norris alongside me is causing problems. Rather similar, of course, to the 3rd bend in the Grand Prix on Saturday, but I think we've seen it on that bend before, and perhaps a little rut just there on the inside.
Yeah, it's just got heavy, and it's sometimes where the shadows come over and the water in becomes inconsistent, but we see the guys, look, they're all having a chat. It was totally unintentional, and let's just hope that Ollie gets up.
Well, we hope Ollie gets up. His teammate Chris Harris has been there, let us see him. Let's join Kelvin and Jonathan in the studio.
As you can see, he's getting to his feet, which is good news, Kelvin Tatum. Your thoughts on that incident?
Yeah, it was really unfortunate for Craig Boyce there, because he was brave. He dived down the inside because Scott Nicholls lifted, and that allowed him to get in there. It does nothing wrong. There's obviously clearly a really grippy patch there right near to the curb. That fires him straight across in front of Oliver Allen. He collects him. Allen's got no chance and hits the deck, and quite tough crash that, to be perfectly honest, for Oliver Allen.
Holding his shoulder there.
Yeah, let's hope that there's no actual real injury. I'm sure he just feels a little bit knocked about, and he should be able to take his place in the rerun. But for Craig Boyce, after running a last in his opening ride, he was keen to get amongst the points there. There is a problem with the light there. I remember when I rode here, the light actually comes around the end of the stand, so you are a little bit blind. He dived underneath Scott Nicholls, perfectly normal racing manoeuvre to do, but just got caught out by track conditions. But
just to the left there as you come into the sunlight there over the back.
It's as you enter the corner going in. Any minute now, the sun will dip down behind the stand. It won't be a problem at all. But in the early heats, it actually shines across onto the entrance to to turn 3, and as you drive in there, you actually sort of are blinded just for a fraction of a second, and if there is some inconsistencies in the surface, you can get caught out, and we've seen 1 or 2 boys have that happen to them.
Well, we've got quite a showdown at sundown here for sure, because both these teams are hungry for it tonight.
They
it's good
are.
to see.
Terrific commitment on the track. Real action out there, and you've got to say Poole have come here really meaning business.
Fired up.
I expected the home side to pretty much have this meeting under control right from the word go, but all credit to the Pirates right from heat 1. They've really meant business.
Yeah, quite a feeling in the crowd as well. Good banter going on. Both sides of the crowd reacting to those decisions. Here's what's coming up. Oliver Allen, Swist, Nichols, and obviously not Craig Boyce.
Yeah, they'll rerun the Jim Lawrence has got to rerun it. It was the opening lap of the race. But I think that Scott Nichols will be very determined to come up with a business there. Heat 7, good-looking race that. You've got to say that Chris Harris is going to come under pressure from Bjarne Pedersen and Edward Kennett. And I think key also is Billy Gennaro. Gennaro needs to build on his confidence from his opening ride. Because
he
the
doesn't
home
like
team,
being at reserve, does he?
None of them do. We saw it with Charlie Jada the other week when we were up at World Cup at Bellevue. A rider that's been around for a few years now. Certainly won't be looking to spend too much time down at reserve. His pride will be...
well, Heat 8.
Yeah, Heat 8's also pivotal. Obviously, you've got the number 2s against the reserves. Smolinski, he'll be keen to get it amongst it. And Oliver Allen, obviously, although he'll be a bit knocked about, he once again will need to pick himself up.
Jason Doyle, likewise.
Yeah, already there's been guys bouncing around. Heat 9, the races just keep coming at us. Rory Schlein looked much better that time. A charging, determined ride also from Steve Johnson. Craig Boyce will want to get amongst the points.
That's Heat 10's lineup.
Got to say, Pedersen and Nichols there. There'll be a showdown between those two. And Kennett and Allen, you know, they're 2 newcomers to the World Cup lineup. They'll be having a go as well.
Kelvin, there's a change in the rerun. Here's Sophie Blake. She's got Pete Oakes.
Yes, I have. Thank you, Jonathan. Well, obviously, everybody would like to know why Ollie's not in this race.
He's damaged his shoulder at the moment. The doctor's looking at him in the first aid room. Obviously, we'll have to wait for the doctor's report, but it doesn't look very promising from our point of view.
Oh, that's not good. So you've got Billy Gennaro to go out instead in his place?
Yep, he could be a busy man tonight, Billy, if Ollie is ruled out, as we fear will happen.
All right, well, we wish Ollie all the best. Over to David and Tony.
Yes, confirmed, in fact, that Billy Gennaro is in this, in the blue helmet colour, and it means that Billy Gennaro will replace Oliver Allen and will go from the outside gate. There's Billy Gennaro, left of our picture. That is Billy Gennaro coming in as reserve, and of course it does has a plus point for Billy, who was so cheerful when interviewed early on the show. The full lineup for the restart of heat number 6. Craig Boyce excluded, of course, from the inside. Scott Nichols, who made the gate, goes for Coventry in red gate 2. It's Pietro Swiss, the sole surviving Poole rider in this one from gate 3. And on the outside, Billy Gennaro comes in as a reserve replacement for Oliver Allen, who was the victim of that bang on bend 3. And, well, Billy Gennaro, I think, will be pleased to get among the points again here, David.
Yeah, he'll have a good go, but gutted for Ollie and Oaksy in the Bees, because around this track, mate, he can be well quick, but the Bees have got to get a massive result out of this race.
Scott Nichols looks down at the tape. Scott Nichols, the red helmet colour, makes a lightning start. Billy Gennaro, his teammate at Carter, comes up the outside. Scott Nichols doesn't need to close the gap because Pietro Swiss is left at the back. And this means it's going to be a 5-1 to Coventry with Scott Nichols leading the way. Billy Gennaro has time to look back in second place. And at the moment, Swiss is tailed off at the back. Easy for Nichols.
It is at the moment, but it's just this corner here. You're just watching, they're still getting out of shape. Scott going just a bit easier and it's making light work of it now. Maybe they're just going down a little bit hard. But you'd have to say, yeah, 5-1 in normal circumstances. But after seeing what happened to Bomber, then we see Swisty getting in trouble on his own at the back. It's just interesting to see how this track turns out. But at the moment, yeah, certainly a well-needed 5-1 there for the Bees.
That is Pietro Swiss struggling at the back here. But this is going to be a 5-1 into the final lap. Down the back straight, Scott Nichols opens up a big gap. His teammate and partner, Billy Gennaro, is in second place. The consolation point is going to go to Peter Swiss, but Nichols wins it. And that, I have to say, is a 5-1 in favour of Coventry. That will turn the tables now. They now move on to lead by 2 points now at 19-17. And that's probably a significant heat, certainly a significant move. And, well, the replacement of Ollie Allen by Billy Gennaro, the points are piled up, and it certainly didn't make too much difference there. They got the 5-1 regardless. But that man, Scott Nichols, disappointing first time out, but this time leading all the way to 3 points, David.
Yeah, he'll feel like he's got something working right now, that's for sure.
Scott Nichols, 3 race points for Coventry. Billy Gennaro, 2 for Coventry. Pith for the Swiss got the single point. And 5-1 to Coventry, who now lead with 6 gone, 19-17.
Well, I'll have to say, a pretty uneventful race at the end of it. I mean, we've had a cracking meeting so far, but we see from the start here, Scotty making a good one. Swisty can be a spoiler, so it still could have happened in this heat, but the interesting thing here was that Scott didn't look for his teammate here. He kept his head down and perhaps feels that the track isn't suitable for team riding, but the Bees really making a good start here and making light work of it. But on that third corner, it was still carving up, and I was all finding it a little bit tricky around there for a moment, but we see once again Scott finally getting a race win, and that'll do his confidence good, and this is what the Bees need now. They've got their noses in front slightly, and they're going to find it tough, I think, without Ollie Allen, but good stuff there from Scotty Nichols, and just picking up in that dirt, but good result there for the Bees.
Well, the heat winner, Scott Nichols, is in our studio with Kelvin and Jonathan.
Great result for the Bees, and just what they needed at just the right time. You're now in the lead.
Yeah, we need to be there, and it's all crucial for the playoffs at the end of the year. It's a tight thing between the top sort of 3 clubs, and we're in there battling.
How are you feeling? Because you were terrible on Saturday night. I know, I was there.
I don't know. It's kind of felt good this afternoon, and now I feel terrible again. I don't know what it is. I think.
Well, we know it makes you ride well.
Oh, I'm struggling tonight, and the bike was terrible in that one. I don't really know what happened there, so I think me and the engines need to go back to the doctors and get fixed.
All right, but disappointing opening ride, of course. Just didn't quite get there off the outside, but never easy. But now back on track with a 5-1 there, because the Pirates have started really well.
Yeah, they have, and like you say, the first rider kind of made one of those too good to be bad, but not good enough.
Exactly,
stuck in no man's land, and
tough one.
In race 1, the track is very even. The dirt was pretty heavy, and behind Ollie, I couldn't really do anything. So we had to put that one to bed and focus on the rest of the meeting.
Turn 3 looks really tricky. The light and a bit of extra dirt on the inside, not easy.
No, it's not. It certainly is true. They say that the sun is really playing havoc, and then obviously because everybody's shutting off, it's creating a berm.
Yeah.
Going in, it's not too bad. But just as you get into the exit of the turn, at the entry of the turn where you want to turn just about now, the sun just hits you in the face, and you naturally put your head down.
Yeah.
It makes your body position change.
I can actually sort of remember that, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it can catch you out, but also it's awkward because there is obviously a soft patch there as well.
Yeah, that's it. Like I say, everybody seems to be hitting it because they're all shutting off and turning at the same point, which just creating a bigger berm, and it's tricky, but that will settle down. The same for everybody, so we just have to get on with it and pull together.
Okay.
Keep going, mate. Well done.
Nice one. Yep. Well, not good news that he's not feeling 100%.
Well,
but to be perfectly honest, I've watched him on Saturday night.
Yeah.
Commentated on it. He felt very second-hand then. He's feeling second-hand now, but he keeps winning races.
It's Captain Scott for you. That's the way he is. Always when he's got adversity, he's always that way. It's always been that way. Typical Brit, isn't he?
Yeah, sure, exactly. But they do need him this evening, and they're going to need him to bounce back. They're going to need this man also, Billy Gennaro. If Oliver Allen is confirmed to be out of the meeting, which Peter Oakes sort of intimated at.
Well, you know what?
Gennaro could he will be almost certainly in for a 7-ride night, and that'll certainly blow the cobwebs away, as it were.
I was about to say, I saw Billy tonight. There's 2 Billies. There's the one that kind of saunters around and doesn't look too bothered, and there's the other one that looks really on it and like ominous, and that's the one I saw anyway in the pits tonight.
Yes, and actions speak louder than words, and he hasn't dropped a point out of his first 2 rides, so clearly he is up for it tonight. And as I say, the Bees are going to need him because he's coming out here with Chris Harris up against Bjarne Pedersen and Edward Kennett, so a tough heat, and they'll need Billy to keep ploughing those points in so they can keep that 2-point lead at least in front of the Pirates.
All right, let's join David Norris and Tony Millard.
Heat number 7, as you heard, Chris Harris and Billy Gennaro in action for the Pirates. That man in green, Bjarne Pedersen, needs 11 points to reach 300 in all his Elite League competitions this season. And we just heard that the Oliver Allen has been taken to hospital and will be taking no further part in the meeting. So it's going to be busy Billy for Gennaro tonight. Chris Harris on the inside for Coventry in red. Bjarne Pedersen it is for Poole in green gate 2. Billy Gennaro goes from gate 3 already. 5 points from 2 rides tonight, and Edward Kennett goes to the outside, a 3rd place so far for him. A busy night for Billy, it is, David, isn't it?
Yeah, busy night. It's going to be a busy first corner. I was just looking at that line-up. Eddie Kennett loves a bit of dirt. So does Gennaro, and so does Harris there. Harris off of gate 1. So is he going to try and squeeze everyone up? but if he does, I tell you, no one's going to back off because they all don't mind a bit of it. Gennero's a big, strong lad, pretty close there to each other from the start, but let's see how this one goes.
Well, it leaves plenty of room for Eddie Kennett on the outside here, as you see, because they're close in gates 2 and 3. They're starting Marshall to move away. Up trying to take a really tight first corner. Kennett taken wide. The man in red who picks it up is Chris Harris. But look at the man in green, Bjarne Pedersen. Pedersen's going to go and try and go round the field. Very tough on this bend. But the man in the red helmet colour is Chris Bomber Harris. He heads the man in green, Bjarne Pedersen. The Coventry teammate Billy Gennaro now mounting a challenge in second place. Kennett way back.
Yeah, Kennett way back, got well and truly stuffed there by his teammate on the first corner. Got no favours from him there at all. Actually pulling up now at the back, but it's still all happening at the front. Harris isn't really getting too clear there of Bjarne Pedersen. Bjarne, one of the cleverest riders in the sport. He's going to keep pressure on, but so's Gennaro. They're in third place.
Kennett has pulled off the track, you'll see as they go by here, but the man in the red helmet colour into the final lap goes Chris Harris with 3 points beckoning for the Pirates, and with his teammate and pilot Billy Gennaro back in third place. They're going to extend this lead now. Chris Harris gets his second victory of the night. Second place goes to the man in green, Bjarne Pedersen for Poole. His total goes to 5 points. Billy Gennaro is the man in third place there. But a great ride out front by Chris Harris, who got it exactly right. And, well, you have to say that Bjarne Pedersen played his part, but Edward Kennett, a real disappointment for him, as you heard David Norris say. But a great ride by Chris Harris, and that's his second victory in 2 rides for the young man who didn't have the best of fortune in the Grand Prix on Saturday. But now the home fans are loving and saluting the efforts there by their favourite bomber from Truro down in the West Country. Chris Harris, 3 race points. Bjarne Pedersen for Poole, 2. Billy Gennaro for Coventry, 1. And now the Bees lead the Pirates by 23 points to 19.
Good stuff here from Chris Harris, not noted for his starting ability as Bjarne Pedersen is, but he actually does out-trap him here, and brilliant one there from, and he does elect to actually stay around the curve, and I thought this might go against him, but Bjarne Pedersen moves out and just blocks the run of his teammate Eddie Kennett. Don't do him no favours, and from that point on just from there, it was a 5-1 to the Bees, but Bjarne does get back round once again around Gennaro. But we see here, look, Harris there just pops around the inside, and it is a good move. Both the Bees coming around the curve. Eddie Kennett's not happy there at all, as you can see, but Bjarne Pedersen not quite getting around Harris. And Gennaro popping around the inside, but it does end up being a 4-2 to the Bees, and good stuff there from Chris and Billy Gennaro. Billy's going to be busy tonight.
Well, it has to be said, the Bees are starting to buzz. The Pirates have work to do, but there's plenty of top Speedway action to come shortly. Join us after the break for heat number 8.
Welcome back to Brandon Stadium. Cracking meeting so far. Coventry Bees are buzzing 23-19 over the Poole Pirates, but we saw the Poole Pirates as they got off the 2 5-1s are capable tonight, that's for sure. Now, we did see a nasty crash happen to Ollie Allen. We can get the latest now. Sophie Blake, Scott, Peter Oakes.
Peter, he's busy organising his team here. Obviously, we've heard that Ollie's gone to hospital. What exactly is the problem?
That he's got what was possibly either strained or damaged ligaments in his shoulder, but also they're a little bit worried about his right hand, that he has in fact had broken bones in his hand previously. He's got some metalwork in, and they think because of that he could well have, that is so strong, the metalwork, that the rest of the bones may have been displaced. So he's going to have both x-rayed at hospital. Any
idea how long an injury like that would take to heal?
No, none at all. Until we know we don't even know whether it's broken, displaced or what. So we'll just wait to hear after he's been to the hospital for the x-rays.
Well, disappointing news, and I guess a busy night for Billy tonight. I have to go back over to Calvin and Jonathan.
Thanks, Soph. And I'll tell you what, the local hospitals must hate you when you wander in with your Kevlars in. I've done it again.
Dragging half a ton of shale in with you.
Yep.
Yeah, they're not always best pleased to see you.
At airports, how'd you get through, you lot?
Oh, well, there are ways and means, I can assure you.
Carrying an engine under one arm.
Exactly, yeah, a kit bag in the other. But no, it's bad fortune for Oliver Allen. He's obviously had some injuries in the past, but metalwork in injuries and then giving them a clout again, that can be quite serious. So fingers crossed that it isn't too serious for him, because he has been integral to their season. And Gennaro's going to obviously have to dig deep tonight.
Here's another good look at it.
Yeah, we just saw Craig Boyce running across there, but it's actually obviously clearly the way he's hit the ground there and maybe just got hooked up with his bike as he's gone in. It's very difficult to see, but you can see there the reaction is immediately to the shoulder. We're not aware, I was unaware that he actually had some metalwork in his hand, but I just hope that it's not too serious, because if you actually break bones around metalwork, it can be very serious indeed. But Heat 8, crucial to the Poole Pirates now. All of a sudden, 2 heat advantages for the Bees, 5-1, 4-2. They have taken a little bit of control. So the Pirates here, the two young Australians, Batchelor and Doyle, will be looking to battle back.
Smolinski on the inside. Let's join, once again, David Norris and Tony Millard.
Well, you've got to look and see how they line up. Martin Smolinski goes for Coventry on the inside in blue. It's Jason Doyle in yellow, gate 2 for Coventry in red. Billy Janira out for his 3rd race in a row. Troy Batchelor from the outside.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, there's some fiery old boys in this heat. I'm pleased I'm not out of them. And Billy Janira will be living in an oxygen tent, I think, after this meeting tonight. He's moaned that he's had no Speedway for 2 months, and now he's had more than he's probably had in 2 months. So, but there, here we go. It's going to be a good heat. You've got the young Aussies there for the Poole Pirates, and they're going to fight back hard. I'd say the track's still a little bit tricky, and these guys, they like to give a bit of gas. Not totally over-experienced, so they might get caught out by the conditions. But what a heat, a very important one. And it's going to be tough to call who's going to actually get an advantage out of it.
Well, they may be young riders, but Billy Janira provides the experience, and he's got to find the battling qualifier. Qualities and away they go. Plenty of room for the man on the outside. In green, Troy Batch. Oh, down straight away goes Jason Doyle. What a night it is for him. That's not the first time. In fact, it's the second that he's hit the dirt, and I'm not quite sure what happened there, but he came off way before the bend there, David, and the referee's got to have a look at that. He's down on the track. Let's hope he gets... Yeah, let's see it again, David.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to hear from the ref here, Tony, but that's all 4 to me.
Well, it has to be said, Jason Doyle, the meat in the sandwich in that one, and, well, our referee will surely put all 4 back in there. Oh, dear, oh, dear, oh, dear. A Coventry and Poole sandwich.
Yes, it'll be a restart with all 4 riders. They all shuffled up going into the first turn. No one rider was at fault, so we'll go again, assuming everybody's fit and able.
Well, as the referee says, depending if he's fit and able, but at the moment we've got Jason Doyle still lying on the track. The ambulance truck is there to take him off at the moment, and well, it was quite a bang for Jason Doyle.
I'll tell you what, it's not a high-speed crash, but these bikes are awkward, nasty little things sometimes. When you get caught up in them, I mean, if anyone even has an experience of falling off your bike going up the shops, mate, you know, it's not very nice. And when you get caught up with these things, you can get pinched and banged about, and things get crushed. So it was a high-speed crash, but it was a nasty-looking little one. And also, it looked like his left hand got caught in, I believe it was Smolinski's sort of back wheel on the way down and stuff. So it's saying good. This is the 3rd time I think he's hit the deck tonight, and we'll be picking bits of Poole shell out of parts of his body for a few weeks to come, I reckon.
Well, they make them tough in Newcastle in northern New South Wales, and that's where Jason Doyle comes from. But as Jason Doyle tries to recover, let's go to our studio and join Kelvin and Jonathan.
Thanks, Tony. Yeah, I agree with David. It didn't look that big a crash, but it was the way he hit his arm.
Yeah, it looked to me like his left arm actually hit the deck really hard, and it was awkward. And sometimes when you're actually not going that quick, you do fall awkwardly. Martin Smolinski comes out, he bashes into Doyle, who then bashes into the side of Janiro.
Bang!
And you saw his left arm there goes
and elbow.
out. And elbow hit the deck. And it could be a shoulder or an elbow problem. You're right, Jonathan. And I think that that could be quite some time. There's no question. This is a good angle now. You'll see it now. They squeeze him up, and his left arm, bang, down on the track. And he's still on top of the bike. And there's no doubt in my mind that left side of him, he really is feeling that as we speak. And he has had a tough night, that young fella, you know, because, oh dear, they've got hooked up.
That's Janiro's bike.
Janiro, that's where the footrest has got hooked up around the chain guard and then made a mess of the crankcases. He won't be happy about that at all, but I've got to say that Jason Doyle's night so far here tonight, right from his first ride, he's had a difficult... And I reckon he's quite hurt there, because if that was just the wind out of him, he'd be up by now. And I think that it could be a shoulder problem, maybe a dislocation of something of that nature.
Craig Boyce, the most experienced rider, is out there. Latest scores, Bellevue 23-33 against Lakeside. We'll keep you up to date. There's Scott Nichols working on his bike and working on Janiro's bike, in fact.
Well, just keeping an eye on it. They'll be just readjusting the chain. Well, they've actually had the rear wheel out. May actually be they're going to change bikes. Yeah, they're actually taking the bike.
Well, that's one of his mechanics, but they're over in Janero's pit.
Yeah, just keeping an eye on things, because certainly they're actually changing bikes, Jonathan.
Okay.
So clearly there was some damage to the number 1 bike that wasn't allowing.
He's not in good shape, and I reckon it is all that left side.
Left side, broken collarbone, dislocated shoulder, something along those lines, because the way he went down, it was awkward. He was still on his bike, and so he couldn't get clear of it. So there's no doubt in my mind that he's done some damage that probably will stop him taking any further part in tonight's meeting. And that's the second time this season we've seen him get hurt. And there's no question that Jason Doyle is a totally committed rider, and it's unfortunate that he's got hooked up there once again.
You know, and I've been watching you guys for 8 years, and it's only incidents like this, because I love the sport like everybody else watching. It's great to watch. It's so exciting. But the reality is you guys are risking so much, throwing your bodies quite literally on the line.
Just tell me about it. I ache and
well, but I want to emphasise that point.
But you certainly do. Yeah, it is a tough sport, and at times you break bones. It's part and parcel of it. And when you're a youngster, though, you do tend to heal very quickly. It's when you get a bit older and you don't bounce back quite so good. But Jason Doyle this time is in some discomfort there, and I sincerely hope that it's not too serious, because they haven't been moving him. I reckon he's broken something there or dislocated something.
Yep. I think that's the case, and
that could be a blow, because you know, you've got to give all credit to the Pirates here tonight. They really have come committed, fired up, and you know, Hans Andersen's been doing the business for them, 2 out of 2, and Jason Doyle had picked up 2 points in his previous ride, so he was still you know, very much part and parcel of this meeting.
So 2 men down already. Jason Doyle has gone out. Oliver Allen is also out of the meeting, but there is a lot at stake tonight. It's 2nd versus 3rd.
Yeah, and it's so key to the fact that staying fit. Craig Boyce there and Neil Middleditch just coming off the track, but you've got to say that fitness and keeping a team fit is crucial to your league campaign. And if you are continually having injuries, it's not always easy to cover for them. You then are reliant on the other riders to cover for you, and this man tonight is having that responsibility thrust upon him. See the damage to the crankcase of the injuries there. That really is something that he's going to be bitterly disappointed about, because to have that all replaced is significant cost, I can assure you.
Really?
Yeah, very much so.
Just heard that Schwist is out there. You can see in for Doyle, and Janero hopefully will be on some bike or other.
Yeah, when he's on his spare bike, they've already changed the rear wheel over. We saw that piece of work going on previously. And any minute now, I'm sure that the 2-minute siren will sound, and they'll have to make their way out onto the track. But Janero, yeah, he may lose a couple of pounds this evening, because he's going to be working overtime. And it isn't always easy, you know, when you've been out for a while. You do get rusty. You get out of that race fitness, you know, the intensity of racing you tend to lose. And for the guys that haven't been involved in Grand Prix in the World Cup, it is a lean time, particularly on top of the fact that we've had such a dreadful summer. And, you know, you've got to remember they've had 8 fixtures postponed. And any minute now, they're going to be racing twice a week to try and fulfil all the fixtures.
You just mentioned that they changed the rear wheel there. For those that don't know, why do you have to do that?
The reason behind that is you're only allowed to use 1 tyre.
Okay.
So, therefore, you would have had your new tyre fitted to that particular wheel. So you have to take it out of your number 1 bike and put it into the second bike.
Providing it's okay and not bent? Or...
Well, no puncture to it or anything else like that. Then you'll be allowed to use a designated spare wheel for the team. But in this case, his race wheel is into his spare bike. He'll be keeping his fingers crossed that bike works very similar to the one he's been racing so far tonight.
So then all sorts of drama going on here. Bachelor, Janero, Schwist and Schmalinski.
Well, I think this Heat 8 is very critical to the meeting, Jonathan.
Yes.
I think that, you know, if the Pirates here can get Schwist amongst the points, Bachelor has qualities, but this meeting could go either way now. If the home team can stretch the lead, and who knows, they may well be able to really take a stranglehold on it. And pretty consistent stuff there from Janero. Started very well, just dipped away in his last ride, but Heat 8 is the sort of ride where a rider of his calibre should be able to come up with, you know, 3 points here.
So then, Billy Gennaro looking for a big one. And I do agree with you. This is pivotal. We're at that point, Heat 8 in the meeting, where, OK, there's a lead for Coventry, but that could all change depending on what happens in this.
Yeah, I think Peter Swiss is coming out, hasn't enjoyed the best of nights so far. Neil Middleditch will be very keen for him to try and make a big start. Swiss is a very experienced campaigner, 39 years old. And, of course, he'll be looking to come up with a business. But Smolinski...
I just got a note for Smolinski. You know that bike he's on? If you look at the bike he's actually on, it's yellow and green. Looks like a Norwich City fan.
Yeah.
But, no, the bike itself and the colours he's chosen are actually in honour of one of his heroes, somebody you know very well, Simon Week.
Oh, of course, yeah.
He said he always wore green, and it's right, he did.
He did indeed. Yeah, and, a pretty good role model to have, to be perfectly honest. Wiggy was a wonderful character and a terrific professional.
So that's why that bike is green and yellow. So if you're wondering that, that's why I found out this afternoon. There it is. And green it is.
Very green. And a bit of yellow there at the back. But certainly, Smolinski, he's coming out of gate 1. An opportunity for him to possibly get a heat victory here alongside Billy Gennaro. But keep an eye out for Troy Batchelor. This man here, I've got to say, both of the two young Australians in the Pirates team have got a big future in front of them.
Yeah, no question about it. There is Troy Batchelor's profile tonight, and scored 2 good points, nothing out of his second ride in Heat 5. And I think Chris Harris's bike is actually going to be used by Ears, and in fact, there it is. Billy Gennaro on the Bombers bike. So that's interesting enough. And a big smile from Chris Harris. Take it away, son. He's just going, what are you going to do to my bike?
Well, that's very generous.
Yeah, in more ways than one. He's looking more worried. He's looked like he's just given his favourite possession away.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, quite literally. Look, he's looking worried.
Well.
I hope he doesn't crash, he says. Well, we all do. OK, as we watch on now, and everybody is ready to go. 23:19 at the moment. Let's once again join our commentary team.
Yes, indeed. Welcome back. And, well, the meeting has not been uneventful so far. And that man in the yellow helmet colour there is now Peter Swiss, who's taking his part of this. The 39-year-old, the man in red there, getting the adjustments. Busy Billy Gennaro on Chris Harris's bike. Now, we did hear Kelvin talking about the tyres. A rider will have 1 tyre per meeting. But I can tell you that Billy Gennaro is going to have lots of rides. Will not be on a ball tyre by the end because he'll be using probably the tyre that was otherwise used by his teammate who's missing. The line-up, Martin Smolinski on the inside for Coventry in blue. It's Peter Swiss, gate 2 in yellow. Billy Gennaro in red for Coventry, gate 3. Troy Batchelor on the outside in yellow. But David, that tyre that of course has now been surrendered, I have to say, by the unlucky Oliver Allen, will be used a bit by Billy Gennaro as well, won't it?
Yeah, there'll be wheels flying around everywhere tonight. A couple of the boys missing, but I'll tell you what, if you want to make this race any more interesting, put Billy Gennaro on Chris Harris's bike. I mean, Chris struggled on it himself earlier, and no disrespect to Billy, but he's a wild child, and it's going to be a good race. The track's still a bit choppy, and it's still all to race for, so let's see what happens here.
That's Billy Gennaro in the red helmet colour. He's going from gate 3. They look down at the tapes and away they go. And Billy Gennaro and his teammate and partner Jet for the tape. But Gennaro goes wide, has to come back. Will try down the outside, but the leader is Martin Smolinski in that bike in Simon Wick colours. And Gennaro pushing for second place to come up the inside indeed of Peter Swiss.
Yeah, I've just opened my eyes again because I can see it all getting nasty in that corner. Gennaro's out there in the dirt and he's really not scared of it. But Swisty was getting out of shape there just for a moment. But he's still on it at the moment. Billy Gennaro will stick in that dirt. And he's going to keep it now for a couple more laps to try and get a 5-1.
Disappointment for Troy Batchelor right at the back, but Gennaro's trying to battle through, and it's going to be a heat advantage to Coventry if it stays like this. But the screams of the crowd indicate Gennaro now goes round the outside. He's got Harris's bike. He's trying Harris's style, but out front in blue, Martin Smolinski down the back straight. Gennaro still battling there in second place, chasing down Peter Swiss. Round the top bend they come. Is he going to make it? Gennaro on the line. No, he's just eased out by the man in yellow there in second place, Peter Swiss. But what a ride out front, a tremendous ride by Martin Smolinski. With Billy Gennaro in third place, it further extends the lead of the Coventry Bees with a disappointing ride at the back by Troy Batchelor in green. But what a ride by this man, Martin Smolinski, the 22-year-old German. And he's been piling up the points in his last 2 meetings. He had 22, paid 24 in the last 2 meetings. And his best score of the season, the last match. Going well, and there you see The separation, Billy Gennaro in the red helmet colour is back in third place and beaten to the tapes by Pietro Swiss. The official result for heat number 8, Martin Smolinski for Coventry 3, Pietro Swiss for Poole 2, Billy Gennaro for Coventry 1. The lead extended, B's in front by 6 at 27-21.
Yeah, brilliant stuff there. Great ride there from Gennaro, but Swiss just held on. We've seen from the start here, and we haven't spoke a lot about him tonight, but Smolinski's just got his act together, and he could be the busy bee now, not Gennaro. He really does make a lightning start there, and we just see he absolutely pulls away. It's all about Gennaro and Swiss after this. A fair play to Smolinski. He's a goner now, and he's out in front, but we just see there on the inside, it got a bit touchy down in the next corner there. We saw Troy Batchelor pick up down on the back straight, but once again from the start, it's tough there for Gennaro, jumping on someone else's bike. He does make a good run to the corner, but just gets caught out a bit here and left in no man's land. Then we see the two Poole boys just starting to come underneath them. So great stuff. Another brilliant race there for us to watch, and Smolinski making pretty light work of it there. Good stuff.
Well, Martin Smolinski is the man of the moment. He's in the pits with Sophie Blake.
Thank you. Well, Martin, you've now given Coventry a 6-point lead.
Yeah, it's quite nice. Just we started a bit bad, and the track is a bit dodgy today, but I look really forward, and I don't come here to lose. We want to win here. So.
Well, you had a bit of a slow start tonight, but your season, hasn't it, has been getting better and better. You've been doing a lot of work on your engine.
Yeah, I've been quite unlucky beginning of the year with my engines, and I changed my engine in the beginning of the year, and then you start by 0 again, you know. So middle of the year, change engine tune again, and just I want to say really happy with Anton Nischel now, and he's making good engines. And just today the track is a bit tricky, you know.
Obviously we've seen a lot.
It's everything quite hard. There's some crashes out. I hope the guys are not too bad, but I look really good forward and think I feel quite well. We found a good setup. My team is working hard, and we changed some small things, and it's going quite well now.
Well, you and Bailey will be busy tonight, so it's just as well. Good luck for the rest of the evening, Calvin and Jonathan.
Thanks, Soph. Yeah, and Martin Smolinski, we haven't talked too much, as you said, about him tonight, but we're also looking towards how kind of form he can get, because he could be a wild card for the German Grand Prix, couldn't he?
He could indeed. There's one or two candidates there, probably Christian Heffenbrock will have a chance. Also another rider we don't see in Britain, Thomas Stanger, also is another young German, but Martin Smolinski, if he can put a good run of form together, will certainly have a good chance of being the wild card in Germany.
Yeah, again, a great opportunity. What if we've heard if a wild card gets $100,000 to the winner, remember?
Yeah, it'd be a nice Christmas bonus, wouldn't it?
Wouldn't it?
Yeah. But no, I'm sure he'll be very keen to make his case for the wild card in Gelsenkirchen. But yeah, it was a decent ride from him in that last ride. You know, he's had a few problems with his engines, but certainly it was a good ride. But Craig Boyce, unfortunate last time, just getting out of shape and causing Oliver Allen to go down. He hasn't failed to score, so he needs. You know, he'll be very keen to make sure that that doesn't remain like that for very much longer. He's up against Steve Johnson and Rory Schlein, so yeah, coming out of gate 2. So I mean, normally pretty good off the tapes, Craig, and still very competitive, even though he's approaching his 40th birthday.
Yes, he is, on Thursday, in fact.
Yeah, been around a long time, Craig. I've known him a long time.
700 and something, 734 events, I think he's taken part in Britain alone.
Super guy too, and does a lot of engine tuning himself. And Steve Johnson, you know, steady work there from his position in the team, and that's exactly why he was employed by the Bees. They wanted to shore up the middle order, and he's certainly doing that job so far tonight.
Yeah, Steve Johnson, definitely another Aussie gritty campaign. We've got 2 in this one. 27-21. And certainly Poole needs some points from this one if they're going to stay in this. Let's go once again to David Norris and Tony Millard.
In time for heat number 9, and there you see Steve Johnson on the inside for Coventry in blue. It's Craig Boyce, fellow Aussie, goes from gate 2 for Poole in green. Rory Schlein, another Aussie, goes for Coventry in red. And Peter Swiss on the outside. You mentioned Craig Boyce is 40 this week. Peter Swiss is 39, so it's a fairly ageing or polite mature pair perhaps for the Poole Pirates in this one, up against the 2 Aussies. Rory Schlein, of course, who hails from well, a little bit remote parts of Australia. Rory Schlein, up in Darwin.
Well, having a look at this there from the start, it's been happening all night. We haven't spoke about it, but these guys are really getting tight up there from the tapes, and maybe see, here we go. Both these sets of riders are having a little bit of hustle and bustle. The tapes ain't even ready to go up. This is the way the meeting's gone all night. It really does mean a lot to them. And psychologically, they're trying to sort of just... look at those up the outside, that's Swiss there. And he's way too tight there. He can't go from that gate position, surely. But this is what this meeting's all about tonight, even before the tapes have gone up.
Everybody else has been going for very wide in that game for David. I don't know why he's choosing that, but let's see what happens here. Away goes our starting marshal. The riders look at the tapes, up they fly, line abreast. A great start for the man in red, Rory Schlein, but coming up the inside in green there. Great boys, and down at the back goes Rory Schlein, who went straight into the back there, I believe, of Craig Boyce. That's Rory Schlein on the deck, and once again, down we go. Our referee will have to make a decision there. It's the air fence to his rescue, David.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, he's got. I think he's had a broken leg before, and it's just we haven't seen nothing like this on this corner all night. And all of a sudden, we see Rory just pick up and nail Boise. Boise got someone, got Ollie Allen early, but we just see, look, totally out now. Just a little bit of grip, doesn't look too bad, but bosh, he hits him real hard. And once again, I said these bikes that get caught up, and that's flipped him over. Oh mate, I tell you, that could be a damaged leg there or something. Once again, we see makes a good start, and that psychology there from Swiss didn't work. Unfortunately, goes wide in this corner, and Boise just nips up him. But just coming out the corner, we're going to see just now, it doesn't look too aggressive, but he just doesn't quite get on top of the bike here, Rory Schlein, and it drives really hard, shuts off, and bammo. I mean, Boise does well to stand, but this is where we see, look, we just missed it there, his legs get caught up, but we're sick of seeing these boys crash. We don't like it. Just hope he gets up. Once again, we'll see.
He's up.
He's up. That's the good thing. That's good. We just see him get caught up there. The bike, look at that, flips over, and it really could have snapped his leg like a twig there. He just gets out of it. I think we just see him here, right at the end of it. Look, the head gets bashed around. It's not high speed, but this is nasty stuff. And he just pulls out of it. Luckily, he's up on his feet.
Referee.
Yeah, the race is stopped in the interest of safety. The rider in red is excluded as the primary cause, and it'll be rerun with 3 riders only.
Well, Rory Schlein, thankfully up and about. It amazes me how tough and hardy these riders are. I remember David Norris next to me, some purrs we've seen him have, but Rory Schlein, maybe it's suited with the meeting, but I'm sure his health is really the more important thing to him. Kelvin and Jonathan in our studio, an eventful meeting indeed.
Yeah, no doubt about it, Tony. A very tough meeting indeed. Rory Schlein, I'm glad to see him up because, Kelvin, we were saying, I mean, I played football for many years. The inside of your thigh, if you get a knock there, and that's what he just got, a piece of metal right in it, it's an easy part to cut up very quickly.
Yeah, and I think that was the least of his worries, to be perfectly honest, because you've got to say that the way he got tangled up with the bike there, you could easily actually have broken your leg, to be perfectly honest, or broken your ankle, because when you're not going at particularly high speed, you get a situation where you are tangled up with a bike, you fall awkwardly, the weight of the bike on you can actually snap a bone. And I'm delighted to see that he was able to get up. But he clearly, it'll be interesting to see what he says. He's going to come and join us and he'll chat through it.
In fact, he's right here.
But it just unfortunate for him.
We'd love to give you a seat. We haven't got one.
Yeah.
Tell us what happened. What happened?
Well, just picked up a later drive and wasn't ready for it, really.
Yeah.
Is that unusual, Rory? We'll talk us through it, but Boise there on the inside, he drifts across in front of you, but is there more grip than normal?
Well, it is a bit patchy, but I'm feeling a bit crooked at the minute, so I wasn't ready for it, and it took off, and just, you know, obviously not strong enough at the minute, it just took off, and Boise slowed up a tad, but, you know, he was in front, and, you know, my bike just started going forward, and...
Yeah, but you look at that now, you're all caught up with the bike. You were lucky there, weren't you?
I couldn't get away from it, that was the problem.
You feeling crook? What's up?
I've just been down with a bit of touch of the flu, I think, from Thursday.
Yeah, we won't keep him here too long.
No. Go and get warm, mate. We'll let him go. Not feeling 100%, and we don't want to catch anything.
Sure, but... no, I really meant that I didn't want to catch the flu off him.
Yes, exactly, that's what I meant. I don't want to catch anything either.
No, but a nasty-looking incident. And tonight there's been plenty of incident, you've got to say. You know, incredible stuff.
But it just shows what's on the line, doesn't it? These are very important. There's no bonus point up for grabs. This is the B fixture, but it's a very important result.
I think part of the problem is, you know, on the inside it's gone quite slick, and then they're running into ridges of dirt, and there clearly Rory wasn't expecting to get quite as much grip. And on sorry, go on.
I'm just thinking of Jason Crump lying in bed watching this, thinking, actually, I'm not in bad shape compared to this one.
I know he's ordering room service there.
I got a nice grand view, can't go wrong.
Yeah, I know what it's just like there. I've experienced that hospital, mate. It's more like a hotel, isn't it? But no, disappointment for Coventry. It could be key to the meeting, you know, Jonathan, because Schlein, a big hitter for them.
OK then, let's once again join Dave Norris and Tony Millard.
Well, we're only halfway through this meeting, or just over at the moment. 3 riders in the rerun of this one. Steve Johnson on the inside for Coventry in blue. Craig Boyce for Poole in green goes from gate 2, and it's Petra Swiss who goes from the outside for Poole in yellow. Poole will be looking for a heat advantage here. It'll be up to Steve Johnson. If he can win the heat, the points will be shared. Anything else, providing all 3 finish, will be a heat advantage to Poole, and they'll be able to close the gap, which at the moment is 6 points. It's Coventry 27, Poole 21. What a glimpse there of Steve Johnson. This time plenty of space between the rider and the outside, now going from wide as our starting marshal moves away, and away they pull for the tapes, and a good start there on the inside with the man in blue, Steve Johnson. Wide go the 2 Poole riders, right out of shape is Petra Swiss at the back, but now the task out front is for Craig Boyce in green to chase the man in blue, Steve Johnson, and Johnson will earn a share of the points surely for Coventry if it stays like this, David.
Yeah, it's good stuff there for the Bees, man, and he's looking pretty smooth, to tell the truth. Boise there just starting to tail off a little bit. We see Swiss right out of shape at the back. Jono almost making light work of this at the moment. He's probably thinking, what's wrong with his track? You know, his bike setup's really good, and like we said, this is what the Bees have brought him in for. It's a good move there by Oaksey. Just a little bit of lift there, but Jono, great start from him, good first corner, and he's keeping his heat all level.
Well, Steve Johnson back from a week of holiday in the sunshine, I understand. He's certainly bringing sunshine to the eyes of the Coventry fans in this one. Down the back straight goes Steve Johnson in the blue helmet colour, carrying all before him, pursued by the veteran Craig Boyce. Boyce is going to pick up 2 points, but the Coventry fans love this, because on his own, Steve Johnson has got a share of the points, and that was the best they could have expected from that one, with Craig Boyce in 2nd place. 3rd place occupied by Petra Swiss, but Steve Johnson now has got 6 paid 7 from his 3 rides, and certainly earning his corn in mid-team for the Coventry Bees. What a performance by Steve Johnson. He did it for the tapes, he held them at bay, and well, there is the weenie of celebration, and you can see how his fans here at the Brandon Stadium are enjoying his efforts in that one. The official result: 3 points Steve Johnson of Coventry Bees, 2 for Craig Boyce of Poole Pirates, 1 for Petra Swiss of Poole, and now, while Coventry still have a 6-point lead, they lead 30-24.
Yeah, maybe it's justice at the end of the day there, but a frill, good stuff, but great from Jono there. We see Swisty starting right from the outside and getting almost nailed there by Boise. Pretty much sets himself up there for the rest of the race, but you know, you've got to say, everyone loves Jono, and it's good to see him in front of the cameras on his bike having a real good meeting now. We just see him there making light work, just getting in that rut there that Kelvin was talking about, but like I say, making light work of it. Maybe his bike set up spot on, but he's riding great tonight, John, and like I say, it's nice to see him do so well in front of the cameras.
Well, his team may be behind, but Neil Middleditch, the Poole manager, is in the pits with Sophie Blade.
Yeah, thank you, Tony. Well, Neil, so far it's been a pretty eventful evening, hasn't it?
Yeah, to say the least, hasn't it? Yeah, we've just lost Jason Doyle and Coventry lost Ollie Allen, so yeah, it's just been one of those nights, hasn't it? I mean, the boys are all trying so hard. You always promise, spectacular things when Poole and Coventry meet, and it's living up to it tonight.
What's happening with Jason then?
He's banged his hip really badly and quite badly bruised. So obviously they don't want him to ride. The doctor signed him off for the evening, but it's a bit of a shame. I mean, he says he's okay, but he's quite heavily bruised. So I think it's best he doesn't ride.
But obviously good news about Jason Crumb.
Yeah, great news. I mean, Crumbly's had the operation, as they spoke to him this evening, and he's in good spirits, and hopefully we can get him back in a week or so.
Well, can you guys get it back tonight?
It's tough. It's very tough. I mean, Coventry, you know, we're sort of, my riders, someone get a little bit of luck there, but we're trying. We're never giving up.
All right, best of luck to you. Okay, back to the guys.
Well, they never give up, but that performance by Martin Smolinski when his last race when he won has earned him the place as reserve and a slight respite for Billy Janira. It's Martin Smolinski in the blue helmet colour who is replacing the absent now and injured Oliver Allen. Scott Nichols there in the red helmet colour on your screen, and remember, Coventry lead by 6 points, 30-24. But let's look at the lineup across the tapes. Martin Smolinski is the man in the blue helmet colour, goes from the inside for Coventry. For Poole in yellow, Edward Kennett, gate 2. Scott Nichols, it is in red, and Bjarne Pedersen on the outside for Poole in green. Scott Nichols will be looking for victory. If he can take Smolinski with him, Coventry will extend their lead. We could have tactical opportunities open for the Poole Pirates to try and plunder a few points. But Bjarne Pedersen won't allow Scott Nichols to have it all his own way. Those stats you see at the moment there, 5 wins tonight so far from the inside gate, gate 1, 1 each from 2 and 3, and 2 from the outside gate 4. That expresses those percentages.
Oh, good race here, Tony. I mean, just looking down at the card, the boys there, you couldn't pick a winner. I mean, any one of these guys are well capable of winning this heat. Maybe Eddie's just had a slightly unlucky meeting so far. I see he's still on the same bike, so when he pulled up earlier, it wasn't a terminal. Maybe something just going on with the carburettor. But let's see how they line up at the start. Eddie's giving himself a bit of room there. Smolinski also in the middle of his gate. Smolinski really has put it about. There we go. Let's look at Scott Nicholls there. He's right up against gate 4. And it's happening in every heat. I mean, I'm quite enjoying this. You don't often see this, maybe once in a blue moon even, but I mean, every heat.
Well, a few moments ago, the Starling Marshal insisted the Poole rider went wider. This time he's allowed the Coventry rider right on the marks with the elbows over the line.
They're at home time,
Let's see what happens. Away they go. It is a battle out front now. Bjarne Pedersen in green is with Scott Nicholls in red. Nicholls picks it up. Pedersen comes up the inside. This is going to be quite a race. Right at the back in yellow is Edward Kennett yet again, but a real battle out front between two Grand Prix riders. Oh, Nicholls round the outside takes Bjarne Pedersen, leaving Martin Smolinski in third place, but a battle between these two out front.
That's great stuff there from Scott. We've seen him really on top form recently, and that was unbelievable. Not even a back pavement between the two of them going in that corner. And we see at the back there Eddie Kennett now putting Smolinski under pressure, trying to do what Scott Nicholls done, go round him, but Smolinski's now moved out into the dirt line. He's starting to calm down, but brilliant stuff there from Scott Nicholls.
Nicholls with a lap to go in front. Bjarne Pedersen back in second place with the man in blue, Martin Smolinski, in third place there. It means that Coventry will extend their lead, and all sorts of things could happen later in this meeting for Poole to try and recover. Checkered flag belongs again to Scott Nicholls. Second place to Bjarne Pedersen. Third place in blue, there goes to Martin Smolinski. That was quite a race, and in the first lap, those two Grand Prix riders really showed their quality. And, well, disappointment for Edward Kennett right at the back. Not the night for the youngster who's in that World Under-21 Championship final coming up shortly. But a great night so far for this man. He disappointed in his first ride, but since then, the fans have shown their appreciation for a marvellous ride by their very own Scott Nicholls. What a ride that was. He took on and beat Bjarne Pedersen. 3 points for Scott Nicholls for Coventry. 2 for Bjarne Pedersen for Poole. 1 for Martin Smolinski of Coventry. 4-2 the heat advantage. And now an 8-point margin in favour of the home team.
Brilliant race there. I'll tell you, for all that's been happening tonight, these guys still ain't backing off. Nothing's putting them off at all. Scotty trying his psychology at the start there, didn't quite work. Bjarne Pedersen lining out at the start. Scotty moves him over there, and then we'll see Bjarne Pedersen just does the clever cut back and lines him up out. Scotty just lifting a bit, so he's still struggling. And we see he has a look there and knows that Bjarne's passed him. But I'm pretty sure out of this corner, this is where it all starts to get interesting, because I don't know how he got by. He got so close coming out of this corner. Look at Scott, just like that bike's almost going straight here, and he's pulling his arms out of his sockets. Bjarne running him out as hard as he can, and here we go. That is as close as it gets, guys. I'll tell you, that is brilliant stuff from Scott Nicholls, and wonderful to see two top quality riders there right at it, and that's how it should be done, guys. Great race again, and the bees there just keeping their noses in front. Well done, Scott.
Well, a great Scott it was for Scott Nicholls, a great performance. The sun may be going down, but the enthusiasm of the home fans is building up. There are 5 heats remaining. The climax of the meeting promises to be a great one. Join us after the break.
Welcome back, Sunset, at our big showdown at the moment. It's 34-26. Coventry Bees have started buzzing. They got into the lead a few heats ago and they've never looked back, but it's been tough. We've had a lot of incidents. 6 races stopped out of the 10 so far, and Scott Nicholls, a brave ride in that last one.
Yeah, it was tight, you know. I was committed and just wanted that win.
That's an
Very
understatement.
nonchalantly said there. I've got to say, I was jumping about.
Here's another look at it.
Yeah, I mean, Bjarne just kept getting a good run up the inside and just managed to. I was committed, you know. I was there, and Bjarne's a fair ride, you know. I had to sort of drop the elbow a little bit. I was committed there, you know. It was
Yeah,
just one of
sure.
those things,
All credit to him. He gave you enough room there. He could have slammed the door shut, couldn't he?
That's it, and, you know, it could have been sort of dangerous for both. You know, it's one of those situations, and it's good to get some points on the board, and like I say, the dirt is not working as good as we'd like it to out wide, and they've got, Bjarne's got his setup good round the inside. So
let me ask you a question. What's going on? A lot of shenanigans going on at the start, and Dave Norris has mentioned it several times. You all seem to be trying to get almost over the line to get started.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I suppose it's a tense meeting. Everybody's keen to get away, and that's where it comes down to the ref and the start marshal to do their job. And it's been an action-packed night so far. It kind of shows how fierce the contest is.
8 points up, in control of the meeting. Do you think you can take it tonight?
Yeah, we can, but we've got to keep pushing away. 8 points can, soon be clawed back. There's only a few to go, so we just got to remain strong and determined.
Nice one. Good
Go
stuff.
get a rest. We'll carry on. As you can see, they're up at tapes thanks to Scott Nichols. Let's once again get back to David Norris and Tony Millard.
Hans Anderson on the inside, who beats, of course, here Chris Harris for the first time tonight. Billy Gennaro goes in on the outside, but Chris Harris is in gate 2 in red. Troy Batchelor in yellow goes from gate 3 for Poole on the outside. That's Billy Gennaro. A busy Billy tonight. So far, 4 rides. Certainly perhaps having at least 2 more, but Smolinski now getting into the act as well to fill those reserve rides in place of the injured Oliver Allen. And now, with Hans Anderson up against Chris Harris in this one, David Norris alongside me, another battle in prospect.
Yeah, it could be a race of 2 halves, this one. We're looking at Harris and Anderson there on the inside, Gennaro and Batchelor. Batchelor just falling away his form at the moment. A brilliant heat win, peg win in Heat 1. And they ain't done a lot since, but maybe a race of 2 halves, this one.
They look down at the tapes. Referee Jim Lawrence presses the button. A real flyer there by Hans Anderson in green. Anderson leading for Poole, but now coming around the outside in blue and picking up is Billy Gennaro. Up the inside in red is Chris Harris. Right at the back in yellow, that is Troy Batchelor, but they'll be trying to catch the leader, Hans Anderson. These 2 Coventry riders are doing the chasing. Right at the back is Troy Batchelor, who's not going to succeed in going by them, and it looks to me as if Hans Anderson is going to win this in a canter.
Yeah, he does it so far. I mean, Chris Harris is trying to team on. I think maybe he still is. The team on there with Gennaro, knowing that the drawn heat will be good enough. Maybe he's given up the chase on Anderson already. He's having a go, but Hans immaculate out at the front. And Batchelor's having a go. He's having a real good go at Gennaro on the inside.
Right at the back with a lap to go. There's still a chance for Troy Batchelor, but no chance up front because Hans Anderson isn't going to be caught by Chris Harris. But look at the action right at the back as they come round that top bend. Those 2 are still racing. Hans Anderson wins it ahead of Chris Harris, and it's Billy Gennaro that holds him off in 3rd place there. So it's another 3-all here, with Chris Harris taking 2nd place, and Chris Harris being beaten for the first time tonight by Hans Anderson, who's now won all 3 of his races so far. And Hans Anderson is certainly playing a part here for the Poole Pirates. He may be a guest, but he's certainly piling up the points. Hans Anderson 3 race points. Chris Harris for Coventry 2. Billy Gennaro for Coventry 1. 3-all for the heat. Coventry 37. The away side, Poole on 27.
That's 3 out of 3 now for Hans.
29.
All from the gate, and Chris Harris just not quite the races there. And the Batchelor even making a better start than Chris, just gets squeezed out. And it did actually end up being a race of 2 hours, but for a while there, it looked like Harris was either being stuck or was sticking now. Here's see Billy off the outside, was sticking with Billy, just a team ride there for a moment. But right at the end of the race, Harris did actually catch up Hans Anderson, so it's a shame he didn't get away earlier. But once again, it's a drawn heat, and it's still going away on the bees at the moment.
Well, it may well do, and the outcome of heat number 12 could be quite important, because if there's a heat advantage to Coventry, then Poole could use a rider for double points and may close it up. But as we look at those riders there, well, there was a battle at the back, and you've got to say that in the end, well, a marvellous win by Hans Anderson. As the riders come out now for heat number 12, Rory Schlein and Martin Smolinski are the 2 riders. This man, Bjarne Pedersen, in action with the Poole Pirates, along with Tjethra Swist. But, well, can they close the gap? And Martin Smolinski coming out of the blue helmet colours, along with a shaken Rory Schlein, it has to be said. But Bjarne Pedersen there, look at his record so far. 3 points from his race win early on, then 2 second places. A good performance by Bjarne Pedersen, and he needs 11 points tonight to reach 300 in all Elite League matches.
I'll tell you, the scoreline there, we look, it's awkward there for Neil Middleditch, and to do anything really tactically, because 8 points down ain't enough to do the double, and it's still a long way. 8 points is a big deficit to make up with so few races left in this meeting. So you'd feel that it would only be the next heat that he could do it, but obviously to do that they're going to have to go go a couple of points down in this heat with Bjarne Pedersen at the moment. I mean, he's really on form.
On paper, Bjarne Pedersen should win this one, I think, David. But Peter Swiss goes from the inside in yellow for Poole. For Coventry, gate 2, a shaken Rory Schlein. Bjarne Pedersen, gate 3 for Poole in green. From the outside for Coventry, that's Martin Smolinski. Smolinski already tonight has bagged 6 points here on what is his 100th appearance for Coventry. It's only British club, but he's hoping to replace, as you heard earlier, in that German Grand Prix as a wild card. There we see the riders pretty close together. They're going to be those outside 2 gate positions. And the man that's battling Martin Smolinski in blue has laid first claim, David.
Yeah, well, it won't deter Bjarne Pedersen. I mean, he's lightning out the start, and he's probably seen all this before anyway. But fair play to Smolinski. He's still at it. He's been doing it in every heat. And he's not scared of anyone, so he might try and rough Pedersen up on that first corner.
Well, let's see what happens. Starting margin goes away. This is heat number 12. Away they go, and a great start there by the man in red on the inside there, Rory Schlein. Wide they go on the outside. It's Bjarne Pedersen picks it up in the green helmet colour there to pick up the lead for the Poole Pirates. In second place, Smolinski is doing the chasing. The man in red there is Rory Schlein, and right at the back in yellow, that's Pietra Swiss.
I think this time maybe we might see some team riding. Bjarne's not really pulling away from them that well. I think Schlein, Roy would just pop round the inside and just try to help Martin Smolinski out a bit. Make sure that Swiss don't split them, because at the moment the 3-all really does go in their favour. Look at that. Bjarne put some way out in front now, and the team riding for the Coventry Bees.
Coventry will be delighted with a 3-all, which will prevent a major tactical effort for double points rider going in the next race. But with a lap to go, it's Bjarne Pedersen out front in green, leading the way. Martin Smolinski's the man in the blue helmet colour. The man in red is Rory Schlein, and right at the back it's a real disappointment for Pietra Swiss. But the Dane, Bjarne Pedersen, second heat victory of the night. He takes the checkered flag, and the Coventry riders pack it in second place with Martin Smolinski in blue and Rory Schlein in red. And disappointment for Peter Swiss, the man from Poole, in yellow, the 39-year-old Czech Republic rider. But that man, Bjarne Pedersen, now has rattled up 10 points for the night. He's playing his part alongside Hans Andersen. The official result, Bjarne Pedersen, 3 race points for Poole. Martin Smolinski, 2 for Coventry. Rory Schlein for Coventry, 1. 3-all for the heat. 40-32 is the scoreline with 3 heats to go.
Well, we pretty much had our money on Bjarne making a good start. The only option maybe was for Rory just to pop under him on the first corner and maybe just get his nose in front, but it didn't happen here. Like I say, fair play to Smolinski. Tried to intimidate him there from the start. Made a good start with him, but it just didn't quite happen. And after this corner, we just see that Bjarne Pedersen pulls away Swisty once again, getting a bit of a wobble on. The track has once slowly, we see they're close at the start, but both of them making just as good traps, but Bjarne's on the inside line, so he gets to the corner first. Smolinski has a go there for the first lap, but Pedersen pulls away, and it's a 3-all once again. The Bees are still in front.
Well, the Bees are still in front as we go to heat 13. There are 3 heats to go. And you've got to say here, with Scott Nicholls and Chris Harris in the Coventry lineup, Hans Andersen is the key man here for Poole, and with Craig Boyce alongside him. Well, if Hans Andersen wins it, I've got a feeling it'll be a 3-all. That'll delight Coventry, because there'll still be no opportunity for a tactical ride in heat 14. And heat 14 is the last time you can produce a tactical ride, of course. It's not an ad heat 15, David.
Yeah, and that's right. That's the way. It's just been slightly stuck on that points line for the last few heats. Hasn't out Midlow out whatsoever. We see Chris Harris there. He's had a blinder, but just got nipped at the post last time by Hans Andersen. But I do fancy it. He really was catching Hans in that last heat after the first 2 laps been caught out whether to team ride or not. When he got his head down, he was as quick as, or even quicker than Hans Andersen. So maybe he may have the better of him in this heat. Let's see.
Well, you've got to say the opportunity Hans Andersen has 3 race wins. Scott Nicholls has got 2 in this heat. Chris Harris himself all had 2. There is Scott Nicholls' record of the night. A disappointing first ride, but then 2 heat victories here. 6 points for his 3 rides tonight. Hans Andersen 9 from his 3. But let's look at the lineup for heat 13. For the inside, Scott Nicholls it is for Coventry in red. Gate 2, Hans Andersen on the maximum for Poole in green. It's Chris Bomber Harris, dropped a single point tonight in blue. Craig Boyce is on the outside. With Harris and Nicholls together, you've got to fancy the chances here of the Coventry Bees. But, well, Poole won't be easily done. And certainly Hans Andersen will be doing his level best to produce a heat victory.
Yeah, certainly. If he makes another one of them blinding starts, it's going to be tough. Maybe Scotty and Chris there might get each other's way, but I'll tell you what, Hans is sandwiched between two of the British, best of British, so he will do well to get away from these two, and I fancy this to be a cracker, this one. Let's see at the start, they're still slightly close. The marshal there stuck between Hans and Bomber, and there's still no real respect there. These guys are right at it from the word go.
Away goes our starting marshal. The riders look down at the magnets. Up by the tape to line of press three top riders. But look at them. Hans Anderson it is that squeezes his way through. Coming up the inside is Craig Boyce. Now in blue, a tremendous ride by Chris Harris. Harris up the inside. The man in red, Scott Nichols, is right at the back. But Hans Anderson is stretching it, and anything can still happen in this one.
He's stretching, but Scotty once again lifting and rearing. Boyce is on the inside, trying to make a race of it, trying to get an advantage that the Pirates need. Just not happening, and here we go. Chris Harris is now on the tail of Hans Anderson. He's got 2 laps to do it this time. Will he pass him?
Well, what a battle here. This is Chris Harris in blue doing the chasing. Hans Anderson out front. Anderson the Dane, but Harris tries to come up the inside with a lap to go. What a tremendous last lap in prospect here. Harris will go wide. Harris does go wide. That is Bomber Harris at his blasting best. Harris goes round the outside. Anderson comes back. Harris wins it in blue. What a ride by Chris Harris. It's got to be said. I didn't think Hans Anderson would be beaten, but we know, we've seen what Chris Harris can do. He's done it so often, and he did it when it counted. But his team there, who have now established a lead, and it'll be very, very interesting to see what happens now in the next heat, because with Scott Nichols there, let's see the official result. It is a 10-point margin, and Poole can use somebody going for double points now in the next race. They've left it to the last possible chance. So Chris Harris is the man of the moment. 3 race points for him for Coventry. Hans Anderson 2, Scott Nichols 1 for Coventry, and now Coventry Bees lead 44-34, and in heat 14 Poole can put somebody out for double points.
That certainly didn't disappoint us there, Tony. Brilliant. And Scott Nichols and Hans Anderson, it was all about them two for a moment, first corner. Scott's trying desperately to push him and just goes too far, misses it, and for a moment there's our old man Boise. He gets in the second place, but Chris Harris bombing Bomber Harris up the inside there, and just starts to throw in the mix a little bit. We'll see from the start again, Hans Anderson is absolutely lining out the traps tonight. You would have to put your money on him making one more. But the thing is, it's all about Chris Harris after this. There you see Scott, look at them, elbow to elbow, just trying to push him out, and it doesn't happen. Fair play to Hans Anderson. He stuck his ground, but it was all about Chris Harris. I just felt after his previous race that if he could get away, get his head down, he would chase Hans Anderson. He had the speed. And we just see Chris here diving underneath Boyce here, and we're just going to see him chasing now, going for the lead. This is Chris Harris, decides to stick him right in the dirt. Hans ain't quite. Look at that ridge. Chris Harris getting both wheels in it. I thought he was actually waving at Hans, but there we see he's just pulling the tear off. And fair play, nice bit of mutual respect there from Hans Anderson.
Well, Bomber went with a bang, and now he's in the pits with Sophie Blake.
Thank you. What a great race. You don't like riding behind other riders, do you?
No, definitely not. You know, we want to be out in front and made the best of starts, but managed to hunt him down and get around them in the end.
We've seen you doing rides like that this year, haven't we? It's almost like your final at the GP in Cardiff.
Yeah, it's a bit, no, I started meeting with some good starts, but just must be getting tired or something and not getting out them starts. But no, the bike's working really well, and the track's in good condition.
And the guys happy now, feeling that they're in a good place?
Yeah, definitely. The boys are all, calm and collected. So, obviously without Ollie being injured in the second race, so we're one man down already, so it's hard to cover with.
All right, well, that's a fantastic race, and best of luck for the rest of the evening, Calvin and Jonathan.
Thanks, Soph. Neil Middleditch joins us, and well, I don't know if you expected that, but not been an easy night, but it's been a great night of Speedway.
Yeah, that's right. It has been some fantastic racing tonight. Plenty of incident. I mean, plenty of people to watch out, and plenty for people here. But yeah, so last roll of dice for me. Hans,
what are you going to do?
Hans is going to go off 15 metres. I mean, thanks to him coming in as a guest. Sometimes the guests don't want to do it, but he said he'll give it a go. So
I reckon Jason's watching, going, glad I'm not in this, mate.
Yeah, that's right. So we just got to really hope that if Edward can make a start and maybe slow it up a little bit and give Hans a chance.
last roll of the dice, and he's done a good job for you. Obviously, we've just been hunted down by Chris Harris in a stirring ride once again from Harris, but he's done a decent job for you tonight, Anderson, hasn't he?
Very much so. He's come into the team and he's done Jason Crump's job tonight, which is what he was asked to do, and he's done that. So thanks to Hans.
Yeah. Big call though coming off 15 metres. The dirt's out wide, but clearly you felt that was. You weren't tempted to go with Eddie Kennett off the tapes.
Edward just blew his #1 bike up in the previous race, so he wasn't feeling too confident. So really, I just hoping to say, I said we can make a start, and then maybe just slow things down a little bit. And Hans, he's really fast, and he come from behind if he can, and I know about the Formula 4 laps.
Yeah, okay, well.
And how do you feel about the rest of the year? Obviously, you've got to take these base. This is the first leg, effectively. You'll take them back home, and I would have thought you'll feel confident there. What about the run-in towards the playoffs?
Well, as you say, it is a run into the playoffs, isn't it? I mean, we have a very good track at Poole, and Coventry perform well there as we normally perform well here, so it sort of levels it out. So I'm never overconfident because they've come down there and turned us over before in the past. So it is the run in now, and we just got to get every point we can and try and keep this as close. That's why I'm doing this.
That's right, and top two is important, isn't it? Because the home draw in those playoffs is pretty crucial, isn't it?
It's very crucial, Kelvin, isn't it? I mean, that's what we really want, top two. I don't care first or second, I'll take either, but top two is what I want.
Yep, and it's been going well, but it'll be really interesting. It's a mouth-watering prospect now, this Heat 14.
It's been a great meeting, hasn't it? I mean, you had everything tonight. Fortunately, a couple of injuries for the boys, hopefully not too serious, but it's had everything at Speedway. It's been a great Speedway meeting.
Yeah, I think it's been just a pleasure to be here when it hasn't been raining. Everywhere we've been, there's been rain. Obviously, it's been quite depressing. So all of a sudden, we've had a summer's evening, and the race has reflected it.
Exactly right, and the track's good. I mean, it's a little bit sort of heavy in places, and that due to the amount of rain we've had, but it's producing good racing. And I mean, that one from Chris Harris and that last one, fantastic. I mean, Hans doesn't hang around him. Chris just handed him down.
That was world class, yes.
Well, listen, I know you need a lot more room to pace around in, so we'll let you get out there because I know you hate this sort of moment. We'll let him go. Neil Middleditch off to get a bit nervous. And here is Hans Andersen. What a night he's had. And, well, it could turn even better if he gets this right, but not going to be easy, is it?
No, well, the key to this is Edward Kennett making the start, because Edward Kennett's got to make the start out of gate 1 and try and slow the race down early doors. So that, or he might not be coming out of gate 1. It'd be interesting to see exactly how they line up here, because with Hans Andersen coming off 15 metres, they'll probably have to go off the outside, so they'll shift Edward Kennett across into gate 2. So the starts will be reversed with the Coventry duo coming off with gates 1 and 3. But Hans Andersen will need Edward Kennett to make the start out of gate 2, slow the Coventry boys down around the first turn to allow him to really get on their heels and at least pass one rider on the opening lap.
Well, he comes from the land of fairy tales. Can he create one, this one? Mr. Andersen on this one, do you think?
Well, he can do. He's showed a lot of speed, although you've got to say Chris Harris was truly sensational in his last ride. But Andersen has the pace here, but as I say, the key to it is Edward Kennett hitting the front and being able to control the two Coventry boys to slow them down, to allow Andersen to really have a go. And then Edward Kennett's got to allow Hans Andersen to get by him.
Let's find out what the thoughts are of David Norris and Tony Millard.
Well, let's look at the lineup first. Billy Gennaro moves to the inside gate, goes in blue for Coventry. It's Edward Kennett in green for Poole, now from gate 2. For Coventry in red, Steve Johnson. And Hans Andersen goes from 15 metres back. To do that, he has to go for the outside gate, hence the changing gate positions. David Norris alongside me. Can the man with the black and white helmet there, is the man booked for double points, can he make it?
Yeah, I certainly think so. I mean, I did say he'll probably make his last start of the night. I didn't quite realise he's going off for 15 metres, and he ain't that good. But he's good enough to chase him down for 4 laps. Eddie Kennett's got a brilliant brain on him. If he does get in front, he will slow it down.
Let's see what happens. The starting marshal moves away. 3 on the line. 115 metres back. Away they go. Hans Andersen has to do the chasing. Kennett has made it. Can Kennett close the gate? No. Coming through the gap now. Steve Johnson in red, and the man in blue there is Billy Gennaro. But the chasing has got to be done from the back. Edward Kennett is there in the green helmet colour, and Edward Kennett leads the way. Maybe the temptation could have been, or should have been, to let him go for double points.
Yeah, definitely. But I said Eddie, slow it down. He ain't. He's just gone away. And Hans is going to have to do it all on his own, but he's a big lad. There you go, 1 down, 1 more to go for Hans Andersen, and this meeting will be wide open.
Hans Andersen has closed the gap there. He's now going to do the chasing in his second place, but he's only got a lap and a half to do it. Right at the back now is Billy Gennaro, but Chris Harris is the man in second place. Steve Johnson the man in second place, but look at the man out front, Edward Kennett. Kennett is going to hold sway here. Kennett down the back straight. Hans Andersen is doing the chasing. He's not going to succeed. Edward Kennett is going to take the checkered flag, and does, but it's second place in red comes there, Steve Johnson. And, well, what a performance there. Hans Andersen does get double points here in yellow, but right at the back in blue. Disappointment for Billy Gennaro. But with the 3 points for Edward Kennett and the 2 for Hans Andersen, it's a 5-2, but that won't be enough to sway the meeting, I don't think, David. And there's still work to do. But remember, the bonus point will count when they go down to the Wimborne Road. Edward Kennett, 3 race points. Steve Johnson, 2 in second place. The third place, Hans Andersen, gets double points. David.
Yeah, it all happened there, and Eddie Kennett makes an absolute blinder of a start. And really, from that point on, it's fresh air for Eddie, and he does pull away. But he didn't really do one. I guess that he couldn't slow the race up enough for Hans Andersen to nip through and get that vital 8-1. You know, I mean, he's had a rough night, Eddie Kennett, so realistically, when he got in front, I think, look at these two boys, the bees there are getting in each other's way, and really there for the first half lap, it could have been nasty. Jono and Billy, they're just getting in each other's way, but we see Hans Andersen, the clever kid, look at that, right round the curve with some fresh stuff on that group, passes Gennaro, and was one down and done his best there for the Pirates, didn't quite get Steve Johnson. We were there again, see that fresh dirt coming up. He's a clever kid, just couldn't quite do enough to get the 8-1, but it was a good effort from him and from Eddie Kennett. He's end of his night, he comes good, but just not good enough for the Pirates.
What a pity for Edward Kennett. He got a race victory in his 4th ride, but until then, he'd only got a single point. He's now total 4 for the night, but, well, we've got to realise that there is Bjarne Pedersen looking on. At the moment, the Poole Pirates are down by 7 points, and the meeting belongs to Coventry, but Heat 15's a big one, follows after the break.
Welcome back to Brandon Stadium. What a night we've had. 46-39 at the moment. Coventry Bees leading this one. And we remember the start of the night as a vital match for both teams, 2nd and 3rd in the league, with the playoffs approaching. And, well, I think we've got everything we wanted. The intensity was there throughout. We've had a few injuries, which we didn't want, but that's unfortunately the casualties of what has been a very, very tough battle.
Very tough battle indeed. And that 5-2, you know, wasn't ideal for the Pirates, but if they could manage to get a 5-1 here in Heat 15, they'll only be beaten by 3 points. And I think that Neil Middleditch and Matt Ford would go back down to Poole reasonably happy with that, you know.
They certainly got the arsenal to do it with. Let's find out what they're going to do and who's going to win the toss. The team managers are with Sophie Blake.
Yes, thank you, Jonathan. I shall talk to Peter first. Well, it's been a great night of racing. You've said you wanted to win all the ones at home, but Poole, they can make it close, can't they, for the return?
They can make it close, but yeah, we've now got the 2 points in the bag. That I think it's been a magnificent performance tonight. You know, we've had riders down with illness. We've had Scott Nicholls, who's got a virus. Rory Schlein has had to go because he's got a virus. Ollie is off to hospital for an X-ray. A magnificent performance to beat a team that has lost 1 out of the last 15 Elite League matches.
I was going to say as well, you must be so pleased to actually have a meeting that's gone on tonight.
Yeah, I think most of them were wondering which way to turn when they arrived. We've had so few of late, but you know, they pulled it out when we needed it tonight.
OK, right, thank you. Let's talk to Neil now. Neil, obviously, you had a good start, but it just wasn't meant to be.
Yeah, peaked a little bit too early, didn't we? But as Peter said, it's had everything this meeting, hasn't it? And, you know, last roll of the dice with Hans there. Really now, my aim is just to try and see if we can get a few more points in this last one.
And you've lost some people to injury as well, so, you know, you've got something else to be focusing on for your next meeting.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, Jason's taken a bit of a knock, Jason Doyle, this evening, and he's bruised, but hopefully he'll be back for the next one. And Jason Crump, as we know, he's had an operation and he'll be back. But Hans has done a great job for us tonight.
Yeah, he certainly has. Well, let's get the last one underway. What are you going to call?
I will call Tails, please, Sophie.
Tails, Peter? Would you like to do the honours? And it's Tails. What are you going to have? Who and what gate?
I will take 1 and 3, and I'll have Hans Andersen off for 1 and Bjarne Pedersen off for 3.
OK, good luck to you. And obviously, you're a bit limited with choice at the moment, aren't you?
I suppose we are. So should we say we want 2 and 4, which it'll be Scott Nicholls off the inside and Chris Harris off the outside.
Right, best of luck to you too. Back over to Calvin and Jonathan.
Thanks, Sophie. Either way you look at it, we're in for a treat. What a heat.
That's a proper race, isn't it? Yeah, that's Grand Prix riders right across the start line and would grace any Grand Prix final, you've got to say. So, yeah, terrific Heat 15 in prospect. And
who's going to win it?
Well, Chris Harris was just sensational when he passed Hans Andersen, and if he makes half a sensible start, I think he'll be very difficult to beat. But certainly Hans Andersen and Bjarne Pedersen, the two Danish riders there, they'll be very keen here to try and pull off a 5-1, because from the Pirates' point of view, to just be beaten by 3 points here this evening...
That's a win as far as they're concerned,
well,
in a weird way.
Yeah, they've lost out on the 2 points on the night, but certainly the bonus point situation, which plays such a pivotal role of where you finish up in the league, certainly could be theirs if they can, on the return leg.
It's going to be interesting, and like you say, it's going to make such a difference because Poole always so strong, and if they enter that next match with just 3 points, they'll be very confident.
Yeah, they will, and you've got to say that Bjarne Pedersen has ridden strong tonight. Just got out-battled once by Scott Nicholls, who was very courageous around the outside of him, but he's a quality performer. He's just dropped 2 points tonight, and you've got to say that's a pretty, that's a professional performance from a Grand Prix rider here. And this is drama, but Chris Harris, he has been inspired again, and I think tonight we've seen him back to his best, and that ride...
Yeah, good to see.
Yeah, exactly. That ride, particularly against Hans Andersen, was terrific, and Hans Andersen done a good job as guesting for Jason Crump tonight. Got to say that he really has put his best foot forward, and there'll be nobody criticising him this evening. He has done a terrific job for them. And Scott Nicholls, a little bit up and down, a bad opening ride, a couple of wins and then a third place in Heat 13. He'll be disappointed with that third place in Heat 13. He'll be desperate to make up for it here in Heat 15.
He did admit to me that he wasn't 100% again going in tonight, and you saw when he came in the studio. As you can see there, up at tapes, it's going to be a big one. Who's going to win it? Let's find out with David Norris and Tony Millard.
As we join Heat 15, 4 Grand Prix riders, as you've heard. 4 top riders from the world. The man in red there having attention to his bike, that's Scott Nicholls of Coventry. But as we look across the line, on the inside, Hans Andersen for Poole in green. Scott Nicholls for Coventry, gate 2 in red. For Poole, gate 3, Bjarne Pedersen. For Coventry on the outside is Chris Harris in blue. 4 top riders. Quickly, David, who's going to win?
I'm going to go for Chris Harris. Of course, it's going to be Chris Harris straight around the outside, but it's Scott's turn to lean on Hans Andersen. Last time out, Hans just got across Scott, so can Scott be as tough as Hans? It's all happening. Hans is right against gate 2. He did ask the start marshal if his position was good. The start marshal said fine, so antics from the word go. Tapes ain't even gone up yet.
They're hesitating at the tapes there, but we've got the tapes there now. And let's see what happens. This is Heat 15, the final race of the night. Going into this, Coventry lead 46-39. Coventry is short of victory in the meeting. The bonus point could go close. Away goes our starting marshal. Up fly the tape surely for the last time tonight. Away they go. Great start on the inside by Hans Andersen in green. Andersen picks it up, but his teammate and partner's back in third place, Bjarne Pedersen. Pedersen will try to come through, but round the outside in red goes Scott Nicholls. But Hans Andersen, can he fend off a challenge, David?
Yeah, maybe this time it's going to be Scott Nicholls having a nibble at his back wheel. Chris Harris got stuck on the first corner, but now he's got by Bjarne Pedersen, and Pedersen's tailing off the back. He's having a little go around the inside now as Harris drifted too wide. No, but Scott Nicholls has a look there behind him, sees it's Harris, and I just think this time maybe Hans Andersen's got this one in the bag.
Down the back straight, a lap and a half to go. Hans Andersen in front is set already now for his 4th Heat victory and a 17-point return as gets tonight into the final lap with Scott Nicholls chasing in second place. Chris Harris is back in third. Right at the back in yellow is Bjarne Pedersen, but a 3-all for the Heat and make it 49-42. Chris Harris takes the checkered flag. In second place, Scott Nicholls. Third is Chris Harris. It's 3-all for the Heat. 49-42 on the night for the Coventry Bees. Andersen celebrates the Heat victory, but to be honest, you've got to say Coventry have won on the night. A marvellous night Speedway. The official result, Hans Andersen 3, Scott Nicholls 2, Chris Harris 1, 49-42 on the night.
Thanks, Tony. Thank David Norris as well. What a great night, Speedway. And I can tell you that Bellevue have lost to Lakeside and lost the bonus point. Wolves have beaten Reading, but here it's 49-42. And what a night it's going to be back at Poole as well. Can't get much better than that. It had everything tonight. And let's hope the rest of the season is going to be like that. Kelvin Tatum, last comment from you, because it was a great night.
Super Speedway this evening. You've got to say that long overdue. Good weather this evening and great racing. All credit to Hans Andersen there. He did the business there for them. and 7-point margin, they'll be relatively happy with that.
And as we head towards the playoffs, I think we're in for a real treat this year.
Yeah, the top 4 sides are looking strong, and then you've got Wolverhampton and Peterborough there or thereabouts. Yeah, things are really bubbling up very nicely.
OK, thanks, Calvin. Well, don't forget, we've got more great Speedway coming your way on Sky Sports. That's right, next Monday, Elite League action. Swindon up against Peterborough. That one, 7:30, Sky Sports 2. Don't forget, Saturday, August 11th, though, the Scandinavian Grand Prix. That one, 6 p.m, Sky Sports Extra. That one from Melilla. And, yep, Swindon against Peterborough. Quick comment about that, Kelvin, could be good.
Yeah, it would be terrific. There's no doubt about it. You know, it's just getting better and better all the time.
OK, thanks, Calvin Tatum. What a night we've had. Well, it was going to be tough. Few injuries, but in the end, the boys came good in a cracking night of Speedway. We'll see you next week. Until then, bye-bye for now.
Good night.
More sport, news and views at skysports.com.